Luigi Cozzi, you've made many interesting films, as well as collaborated with Dario Argento to help him realize his great projects. How did you get into the film industry?
Me scusi?
Well, I started in the middle of the 60s in Milano, not Italy, Milan. And then I came to Rome in 69. I was working as a contributor to a pop music weekly magazine. And I started to interview directors like Dario, Bava, Margheriti. And so I started to meet them, all of them.
Okay, and then you started getting your own projects.
Me scusi?
And then you started getting your own projects.
Me scusi?
Your own projects.
Me scusi? Me scusi?
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 196 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast is coming at you live. I am your host, the crusher of dark militant PC minds, the ill-mented funky Italian child, and forever the toxic offender, Moods. Yeah. And of course, I have my leftover meatballs in the studio with me tonight. First up, we have the Taylor Swift fan club president, who wears his hat backwards like a 6-year-old kid named Johnny Anderson. Double Swift J, a.k.a. the Mexicans. Next, we have the backup singer, who was kicked out of the Village People for writing a song called I Need the Sand Sucked Out of My Vagina. L&D minor degenerate, also known as Jeremy the Jew. Next, we have the man who seems to hate everything in life, including all movies he watches recently, the miserable Toledo Tornado, the penis prowler, Dave, also known as Mr. Parker. And last up, we have the poster child for beaten red-headed stepchildren, but claims he is not a ginger. Jerry, the fucking ginger. What's going on, guys?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I liked one Taylor Swift song, and all of a sudden I'm a big fucking fan. Fuck you.
No, I did not say you were the biggest. I said you're the fucking fan club president.
I thought Philip was.
Second,
that's more of a fan.
Jerry's definitely a ginger. And then third,
it's only in my fucking beard, you fucking cunt. At least I wasn't late.
It looks like you dipped your beard in Sloppy Joe.
Yeah, at least he wasn't late.
Hey, you will not talk about your mother that way.
And
third, I only hate Canadian movies, the new ones, especially Dead Dead.
No. Dave has this new thing where he's like, if I watched it 10 years ago, then I'm gonna hate it now. Stand here with my arms crossed. No,
it is because
I actually watched Girl Next Door like 5 years ago, and then like 10, and then 5, and then like just recently again.
It has been a thing, though. I think a lot of people read your letterbox and stuff, and they're like, "Man, Dave fucking hates everything."
I don't think he likes movies.
He rates everything like fucking high. You're like, oh, I didn't like it very much. I'll give it an 8. Oh, I'm giving that a 7. A 7
Dave now the new Jeremy who doesn't like anything.
I feel like I've become Dave this year, though, too, man. I've rated. I have like 6 or 7 movies over an 8 this whole year, and I've watched 110 2020 films. So I feel like I've not even been being hard on the movies. I just feel like it's just there's just not a lot of great shit, and I'm surprised by some of the high ratings this year.
I was gonna say every time I look at your letterbox, you have shit that's like a 5 and 4s and 3s.
I know,
like nonstop. Seems like you don't like anything.
Let's look at foods in my letterbox and compare who has lower ratings right now. I'm going to compare.
The difference is Moods is rating shit film shit. You're rating good film shit.
No.
If we're going to complain about Moods' intro, that was very, very nicely done. I would like to state that it should have been said that I am the first inductee into
the
Jeremy's Hall of Fuckers.
And you're a fag.
And that should always be brought up because without me, Jeremy would not be back on this show.
I'm not really too sure where I came up with the poster child for beaten redheaded stepchildren. I don't know. It comes along with being a ginger, I guess. But
okay, we're gonna look at Moods fucking.
Oh come on, Dave! Just admit you're old and grumpy.
No, okay. Here we go. The Brahms Boy 2, he gave it 2. The Kindred 2.5.
Those are 2.5. The Brahms Boy 2 sucked.
Ooh, it's
bad.
I
gave the Curse of Audrey Earnshaw a 3, which is okay. I'm not going to tell you what I gave the Paganini. I gave Dressed to Kill a 3.5. which I know was probably a little low, but it's the first time watch. I thought it was good. But I gave Day of the Lord a 4. I gave Tourist Trap a 4. Kill Baby Kill a 4.
Why are you rating these movies 4 out of 10? They don't even sound that bad.
4 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
We don't do Letterboxd.
Okay. They're all 8s then. Noriko's Dinner Table, 8 out of 10. Fucking Last Starfighter, I gave a fucking 9. I gave Last Starfighter a 9. Everybody's bitching at me for giving low ratings.
I got that in the mail today, actually.
Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
That movie's awesome, and it was and fucking Moods gives Alone a 4. I mean, me and Moods probably rate too high. I don't know you guys are bitching at us. We're rating too high. We're giving 4s like fucking candy.
Well, Alone I think is about an 8 out of 8. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, see,
this guy's over here saying Deep Red sucks. Opera sucks. He's over here saying Girl Next Door sucks. I can't keep up.
Girl Next Door does suck. Girl Next Door is that doesn't suck. I just think it sucks. I don't like it.
What? How does it suck?
When's the last time you watched it? Go watch.
Like a year ago for Patreon.
The movie just is like this. Hey, I'm going to show some fucked up shit. By the way, all those people that committed that crime were like 40. They weren't kids. So
no, that's not true. I fucking read the true life novel, bro.
I'm going to read it. Look into it.
There was a bunch of kids that were involved.
Fuck this. I'm going to rewatch this movie. It's been years since I've seen it, and I put it in a lot of top 10 lists and stuff, for disturbing shit. But I've come to the realization that I need to rewatch this because I actually can't remember it that well.
Dude, honestly, Dave's point is not 100% wrong. Like, I do agree that the way they handle the kid and his lack of ability or will to want to get the girl out of the situation is not played 100% realistic. But
yeah,
it's kind of a hard thing to do because the concept is that in that time period, or at least in this film in that time period, what stays behind closed doors is supposed to be behind there.
Well, yeah, it's
and this kid
Butcher
feels like
he
can't really do anything because he's not supposed to. Like, he's naive about the situation. And to be fair, I don't think he thinks that it's really that serious until it becomes really that serious.
Well, you know what though? The point of the book and the movie are different. I know I shouldn't compare them, but the thing is, I don't believe the character's motivation in the movie. No one would do. Well,
I think that your problem is that you just have a concept of different motivations and you want it to be them.
Well, there's no motivation. There's no motivations in the movie. No motivation.
Yeah, nothing. The motivation is that he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't.
That's not a motivation. A motivation.
His motivation for not telling.
No, there's a motivation there's something missing from him. The movie missed the point of everything. It missed the darkness within him. Dude, you do.
But the thing is, you're comparing what that guy's interpretation to this guy's interpretation.
Then this movie has no substance. This movie is this. This movie is on a basic level that says this. Don't people suck?
What was the substance of the real life event?
Here's why I hate movies. Don't people suck? And then they act like they show people that don't act like that. If you're going to make a very realistic movie and tell everybody that human beings are horrible and put plot holes in it, I'm not going to enjoy it. If you make a dumbass movie about fucking puppets running around eating chili dogs, I'm going to laugh because it's dumb and it knows it's dumb. But a movie that thinks it's deep and meaningful that I see a bunch of plot holes in, I'm going to. I don't
think the movie thinks it's deep and meaningful.
Yes, the movie's point is this. It's telling you that human beings are dark and there's this weird bunch of layers and shit, but it just doesn't. It's fucking. It even does that whole thing like that Stand By Me narration shit where it has him in the beginning like, it's literally like bastardized.
It's just a tragic story, dude, of somebody who didn't intervene, man. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes people just don't have the balls or don't believe enough in themselves to stop something.
So Italian month, huh?
It just happens.
I just don't buy it. I just don't buy that character. And he's here's the thing. It's really heavy material to cover in such a cheap movie.
I think your criticism of the acting is kind of overboard too.
Well, Ruth's great. Ruth is great, but the acting it doesn't hold up.
It's better than Paganini Horror, that's for sure.
I think we accomplished one thing here. That's the longest I've never said anything on this podcast in 7 years.
Let me say this. I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't like it at all.
Okay.
Want to know the weird dream I had last night?
No. Jerry, what's up, man? What's going on?
Come on, it's about you guys.
I'm just fucking with you, Jeremy. Go ahead.
So we had an argument about what Chex Mix flavor was the best, and you and JP and Moods teamed up on me, and they kicked me out of the show. It was a fucking
Over
weird ass
Chex Mix?
dream.
Sounds about
What
right.
gives a fuck about Chex Mix?
Wow,
a
that
weird
shit is
dream.
powerful. Wow.
They teamed up on me and they kicked me off of the show. I was like, "Wow, that's like real life."
Oh,
Kicking
fuck,
me
we
out
never
of the
kicked you off.
Well, what is your
Disagreement
favorite
about
Chex Mix?
flavors.
Let's make this dream come true. Let's make it come true. What's the next Chex Mix?
The original is the best, clearly.
Well, what other flavors are there?
No, I
Maybe
like
not.
I like the cheddar
Who
one.
the fuck eats enough Chex Mix to know the
I know, like
flavors?
it's not Doritos or Pringles or
Cheddar.
Right.
Yeah.
Here is the Chex Mix.
Does he have a list in front of him?
This
This guy's got a fucking list.
Come on, Jerry's
Traditional cheddar bold, which is
Oh, cheddar's definitely the best.
I love the cheddar
Buffalo
one.
ranch.
See, we are.
Spicy dill, honey barbecue, sour cream and onion,
I'm really starting to regret my decision to be here
trail
tonight.
mix, dark chocolate, jalapeno cheddar, hot and spicy, ghost pepper, and Jerry's favorite, honey nut.
Jalapeno cheddar or cheddar, those are the best.
Well, if there's one thing that this show does very, very well, it definitely welcomes their guests. Makes them feel very welcome. Jerry, welcome back to the show. It's been a long time. I know you've been
It's been
gone.
a year.
It's 1 year.
It's been pretty much exactly a year to the day. But so how are things going, man?
I don't agree in this situation. I don't want Jerry back. Fuck Jerry. Why do I never
Honesty
have any
goes a
say
long way
ever?
here.
I never have any say
Because you
about
don't
what
know.
happens on the show.
You're the
Everybody's
string-
like,
you're
everybody's
third
like, we want Jerry back. It's like, what kind of shit is this? Who
It's
wants
ironic
to
that
listen
you
to,
said that because I
never
said
is
that
we want
pregame
Jerry.
too. I said I never have any say on this shit either because
who wants to listen to Jerry fucking ramble his bullshit about some weird ass Diane Keaton movie again? Not me.
Okay, first of all, I was
It's Camille
wonderful
Keaton.
on
Whatever.
that episode. People loved me except for that one dude. And here's the thing, Jeremy. I only come once a year. You only have to deal with me once a year.
Once
That's
a year,
not bad.
too much.
That is really not that bad. I could start coming all the time.
Oh no. You'd
Something-
be Dave. You would be Dave's new position. You'd be a new part-time, full-time host.
Yeah, Dave and I are going to start switching up.
I'm down with that. We can back and forth. You got the Paranormal Activity show though, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
No.
good.
Dave, you got
I
to do
ain't
the
doing it.
show. Come
I
on,
ain't
man.
doing it. I ain't got time for that. I got 3 fucking things I gotta cram for. I ain't squeezing in 7 fucking.
you know what? I don't
found
even think
footage
that shit's gonna
movies.
happen until like January now, man.
Oh,
I
it's
think we're-
happening in December. The guy brought it up again.
I think we should wait until after the new year.
I think so
honestly.
too because I think December is kind of a fuck show because we got the year-end show to prep for and we've got a couple other things and I don't know, man.
And 200
The
and
guy asked about it again when he was talking about the Hammer show. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
well,
sure-
I paid
but you know
He
what?
didn't but you're making it sound like he's like, "Where's my show at?" He's like, "Oh, I was the guy that bought this one."
But you got to remember, we
yeah,
also
but he bought it all the way back in fucking March. Is it really gonna make him wait a year? Like,
Oh
I'm
my
sure he
God.
will understand, buddy. I'm sure he would. You always paint our listeners to be
I'm
these
not
like dicks.
watching him again. I'm just saying.
But you got to understand if you're
You
going to
always
pay for
paint
something
our
in
listeners
March,
to be these
Hey,
dicks, but they're all
Sam's
so
the one who
cool.
got screwed on that one when me and you reviewed those movies and nobody else did, and then the show was so bad that we didn't release it.
oh yeah, that one was.
but I mean, if
shitty.
you're gonna Patreon something in March, that's right before it breaks, so it's not going to be for like another 6 months, anyways. So what's another 6 months?
I'm just saying, I'm not watching them.
But
again.
anyways, everybody knows though, like we get bogged down, we have breaks and shit like that, and we do all the shows though.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll get to your shit. But, sometimes it just takes it's really this point in time, right? From
This is
October
a tough time, yeah.
to the end of the year.
Jesus Christ,
From
Well,
October to the
honestly,
end of the
working
year.
on some cum there. or
December is the
something, buddy?
worst month, I think, to have big franchise
I just
shows because we
did
do
you-
have the
I
year
bet.
end. We have, especially this year with episode 200, which is actually taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to do to figure out my shit. We got prep for the top 10 show. There's a lot of shit going on, man. Like that's another
Right.
big ass show to prep for. It's just kind of thrown in there and stuff. And then plus we
Yeah.
got another show mixed in there that we're going to be putting out also. So
Right.
it's time consuming, man. It's time consuming. So, I mean, I think the majority of people understand this, and that's a good thing. Jeremy still hasn't figured it out, but that's okay. He's not the one paying for shit, I guess. But
But we are going to release a show in December that I think it's slated for December, either it's December or January, that will cover like a lot of the picks that you guys sent in for what we watched.
I think
over
it
the
drops
past
January
couple months.
1st.
yeah, we'll have all that shit done. There'll be a couple bonus main reviews on there, what we watch, and all that type of shit, man. So
Yep.
be on the
January
lookout for that.
1st.
Be on the lookout for
Yeah,
that.
I watched Demon Cop for one of you fucks.
Yeah, super glad to be on here though. Moods, thanks for inviting me.
Oh,
Absolutely, man.
Disgusting.
Good to hear you back. I know you've been gone. You haven't been podcasting in a while and stuff like that. So
yeah, I haven't podcasted in 6 months.
Yeah. So it's it's cool, man. It's cool. Italian month, man. I mean,
Hey, JP.
Luigi Cozzi.
Sucks about Big Ben.
What happened?
COVID, bro.
I've been sleeping all day.
Big Ben.
You got COVID?
Wait, how did a tower in London get COVID?
Is the clock still gonna work?
I'm gonna have to look this shit up.
He's on the COVID IR list.
Yeah, but he didn't test positive for COVID.
I know, but he can't play for 2 weeks anyway.
I don't think they said that. I think they said he still might be a go for Sunday.
I thought once you're on the list, you can't play.
No, he's not on the. He didn't test positive for COVID. They are like separating so he doesn't test positive for COVID.
Yeah, I think he's on that
it
potential
says
list.
here that he should be good to go to play. So fuck you, Jeremy. But I'm gonna call it now. We are gonna lose the Cincinnati Bengals. Watch.
Oh, you almost lost to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but every team that goes on a streak like that, man, always loses to a shitty team to break their shit.
But the thing about the Cincinnati Bengals is Burrows is actually playing pretty good, despite the horrible
line's trash. All right. So how was your guys' weeks?
It was quiet. Actually, I had a quiet week. Didn't really do much but watch a shit ton of movies.
What about you, JP?
Oh, I worked. Actually, I honestly didn't get into that many movies. I made the fatal error of starting a TV show. I mean, it was kind of a dumb move. It's only 8 episodes long, but it's that Stephen King show, 11/22/63.
Just what I'm happy you brought it up because I want to read my favorite comment of the week on JP's video.
Okay.
Posted 3 days ago by Zopath Ross, and he wrote, or she, whatever happened to Germany? Jermany. Germany. He's been missing for so long.
It's the Black Jeremy.
Got his YouTube name. Did he got married to a dude or he went homeless? ? Man.
Which is funny because Jeremy commented earlier on the video.
Germany.
Actually, that is kind of ironic a little bit, right? Crazy.
So I'm homeless and I married a dude.
It's funny because the guy has terrible spelling and grammar, which also drives Jeremy nuts. So it's just like your ultimate arch nemesis. Move along, Jerry. He's got a new enemy in town.
Germany.
I don't think any dudes would marry.
Okay, hold up. What's this dude's name?
I don't know. I clicked out of it.
Okay, well, dude who's trying to take my place. Look here. Okay? Jeremy is my arch enemy, okay? So you keep your dried up, dick licking, cum guzzling son of a fuckface cocker spaniel misspelling ass off of him and let me do my job.
It's not as good as that one person who commented that one time. She was the best. The one who left the novel. The dudes got to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that you guys were like,
That shit was funny.
JP's being a PR guy.
Oh, I was
the one that you guys turned away a listener for sure.
Well, no, I simply said in a jokingly manner because she's like, oh yeah, fucking, this show is so misleading, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how about you just read the show notes? If you want to skip to something, right? I just kind of said that all snarky and shit, and he just got into this big back and forth. I'm like, come on, whatever. But anyways, Jeremy, if you want a positive comment, here we go.
Sure.
This is a comment that was left from last week's episode 195, Argento 6, featuring Dave to the Z. Dario Argento and Tobe Hooper had near perfect runs in the 70s and 80s, in my opinion. We'll get back to that in a second. I know lots of people disagree with Hooper. I hold films like The Funhouse and Eaten Alive in high regard, though. So glad Jeremy is doing a lot more of these. So that was a straight positive comment towards Jeremy.
Nice.
But I was
I
very...
like how he said doing a lot more of these. Like, it's like you're the guest.
Right?
Yeah.
But going back to interestingly enough, this guy mentions Tobe Hooper, and I've always stated many, many times about Tobe Hooper, like, had such a phenomenal start to his career and stuff, but man, a perfect run through the 70s and 80s, I think that's such a stretch considering I don't even find Tobe Hooper has done 10 quality films, like, let alone a big run.
70s and 80s. I think they're probably almost all pretty good, actually.
No, you fucking love Life Force for some reason. Boring garbage.
Well, hey, Life Force is good.
I'm going to go on the record and say Eaten Alive sucked.
Eaten Alive was awesome.
See, this is the thing, man. He didn't make a lot of films. Like this run that you're potentially talking about from the 70s. Okay, starting with TCM, 74, to Eaten Alive, to Salem's Lot,
Salem's Lot,
to the Funhouse,
No, it goes Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive, then Salem's Lot.
That's what we said.
I did say that.
No, Mood said that, but then you tried to correct him to. Sorry, somebody
Who
say.
cares?
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
Anyways,
who gives a fuck?
so
He
Eaten
did the
Alive
part two, it was replaced.
into Salem's Lot, into the Funhouse,
that's a 4-film run.
Poltergeist. I just said Poltergeist. And
5.
there's actually a reason why I said that, but Poltergeist. Then to Life Force, which I'm not a fan of. Invaders from Mars, which I feel is an okay remake. TCM 2, I'm not a hugest fan of.
Love it.
Not a fan.
And then it goes into like spontaneous combustion,
That's
which
in
I
1990.
which I
That's
do
in
not
1990.
which I don't
That
like.
movie sucks.
I don't
That's a
like.
turd.
Yeah, it is a turd. Night Terrors is okay, not great. The Mangler,
I'm dangerous tonight.
trash.
Forgot that one.
right? He did a
Okay.
segment in Body Bags, which is before the Mangler and stuff. But then we're talking like, what are we getting into here? Crocodile, which is into 2000s. So he said 70s and 80s. So we went as far as the 90s. But I mean, really, is that
His miss is Life Force and
Life Force
Invaders
is
from Mars.
good.
so? I think the run here is TCM, Eaten Alive, Salem's Lot, The Funhouse, Poltergeist. That's a 5-film
That's
run.
a great run.
It's five. It's 5 movies. It's 5 movies, and we're talking that is 6. That's 8 years.
I mean, that's
That's
good
a
for
good
8 years.
Is it comparable to somebody like Argento
No.
or David Cronenberg, even Carpenter?
Carpenter,
Or Romero.
Cronenberg,
Right?
Romero. No, but honestly,
There's an argument for it. Yep.
Is Tobe Hooper a top 50 director though? That's the question.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, it depends on how you. Is it one of your favorites, or is he legitimately a top
best.
50
horror
director?
director. We're talking
Both.
horror directors here.
Both. Would Tobe Hooper be a top 50 horror director objectively, or would he be? And would he be?
Well,
in your
objectively,
favorites?
if you could come up with a rule that if you have 5 or 6 kind of straight up classic films,
Yeah.
that are very, very notable in the genre, yeah, I mean, you could. There's an argument there because we just said that he has 5 at least notable classics. I mean, quote unquote classics. I don't know about the Funhouse being a classic.
Funhouse
but,
is probably the least classic of the bunch, but
right.
I still really like it.
But yeah, I think his.
Is that amusement movie that Warner Brothers put out in like 2006 any good?
Okay.
I just
thought it was
because
alright,
you
too.
brought up Funhouse, so I was like, I wonder. I've never seen it, but it's been on my.
It's got one
an
really good part in
anthology.
it. It's got one really good part in it with a clown.
It's an anthology.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember being okay on it. I mean,
It's okay.
The best
It's
movie,
okay, yeah.
one of the best horror movies ever made's got to count for way more than something. The Texas Chainsaw is better than.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably objectively like the best horror movie ever made. That's not my personal favorite. I would say if you ask me the best
I would say it's probably
American horror
Halloween,
film,
but
I'd put Texas Chainsaw Massacre way over Halloween.
really,
Way the
Me
fuck
too.
over.
Me too, man.
Texas
I
Chainsaw
would
Massacre
I would
over
put
Halloween.
Halloween over
Any day of the week.
Chainsaw. I mean,
Halloween,
we did put
objectively,
Halloween
I
over
think Alien's better than Halloween, but that's me.
I agree with Dave.
Chainsaw. No,
Alien is better.
I'm going to
Halloween's
say this
like
right
one-
now. Halloween's a classic. It's a 10 out of 10, but it's my least favorite of the classics.
I think The Shining is better than Halloween. That's just me.
Me too.
I'm not a
I'm
big
sorry.
I think The
Jerry's
Shining
not
is
a big fan of Shining
legitimately
either.
amazingly made. Like, I mean, obviously it's Kubrick, but I mean,
I'm not getting started on The Shining.
Yeah, I don't want to listen.
My
to
favorite classic's Night of the Living Dead. Though.
see, it's one. I never get like, I don't really care what people like and dislike, but there is the odd film where you get very surprised when people don't like it. It's like, you just kind of want to fish for those reasons and stuff. And I know that you guys aren't fans of the film, but it is very shocking. I guess it would make for pretty interesting conversations because I think there's a lot of insane pluses to the film. But I mean,
What,
I
on
guess
The Shining?
yeah.
Oh, dude, listen to my podcast I did on The Shining. I went to exactly why I don't like the movie. I mean, I give it credit. Like, it's a well-made movie.
Yeah. That's what
But
I'm saying.
I explained why
Objectively
I don't like
speaking,
it on there.
objectively speaking, like you can't. There's just not too many people that could argue against it not being a well-made film and possibly one of the greatest made horror films of all time.
Yeah, I don't have a
Right.
problem with people that don't like classics as
Mhm.
long as they have legitimate reasons and well thought out things.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
anybody that goes on
subjectively.
Letterboxd and writes something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre stupid and boring, or writes a joke review and gives it 1 star, I want to punch in your fucking nose.
I mean,
don't waste
what-
my fucking time, cocksucker.
One movie that really gets brought up in that aspect of classic
Zero
films
is
that
Frankie.
Objectively
Fine.
in your heart that it's a great movie, but subjectively it has mixed opinions on, and it's The Exorcist, and I know we even have mixed opinions on that film in this studio right now.
Yeah.
I'm
you
not
know,
a very religious person, so the movie
That's
never
the thing.
worked.
Subjectively,
I
a
think
lot of
it's
people
great.
don't like
That
possession of
is
religious films.
overrated.
fucking. I never understood that. Because like I don't believe in fucking Freddy Krueger, but I was still scared of him when I watched it.
Well, the idea of somebody killing me in my dreams is scarier than
no. That's one of the freakiest ideas I think ever invented for films, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's freaky because.
But I'm just that's just.
You're right. You're right. None of this shit's gonna happen.
I just never really liked it that much.
I'm not afraid of fucking cannibals in the fucking woods either. But you know,
Texas Chainsaw could happen. If you ever been through like driving through rural and you're just like, what if I just pull over, got stranded in some shithole, and you hear a chainsaw in the wood? That's as scary to me. Just imagine, like you and your friends. We always talk about that. Like, just we're out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, just imagine if you heard a chainsaw rev right now. How fucking horrifying!
Right, exactly, dude. Chainsaws,
but that's all personal fears, though.
One of the most scariest sounds ever when you're unsuspecting them.
Well, I guess that's why Friday the 13th works for more people, because the people that went camping and were in the woods, they understand that feeling.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, I've been out the bush.
Well, like me, like I've spent half my life in the bush with that shit. So as a kid, man, you know, you would honestly just think about those moments that you've seen on screen. And then it was always in the back of your mind. It worked.
Yeah.
I understand.
So if you were poor, you're like, I don't fucking understand these rich people in fucking upper middle class West Craven world. You know what I mean? I've heard people say that, like they don't really like it because they don't have any connection to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I love it, but
the Exorcist thing, like, because I've heard that argument before, like, well, I'm not religious, so it's not scary to me. And I'm like, well, is any movie ever scary to you? Because
I've never liked possession movies. Never liked possession movies in general.
I can get, I get.
Yeah, you don't need to be religious to fucking understand the fear in that.
Movie than a possession movie.
I think that it could be more scarier if you do have faith,
mm-hmm.
you know, because you're
absolutely.
seeing what's there. But like, I never grew up religious. Like, none of my family went to church or anything like that. I don't claim a religion, and I found it scary as fuck when I was a kid. You know, so it's just never found it that interesting. Fantasy.
I never found it that interesting.
I need to rewatch it.
I've never been a fan of it personally.
I know, but I just think it's a great movie. I saw it in the theater 2-3 years ago, and that's where it really knocked my socks off.
I need to get a rewatch. I haven't seen it since I was like 12 or 13. It's so long.
It does take a little bit to get going, but man, I mean, it's
wouldn't bother me at all.
Done, man.
I like the
music and the acting.
I think they set it up pretty well, though, man. I think it's a really well made film, and I think it's legitimately scary, man.
The third one.
Just my opinions.
Good. Yeah, I like
the third one.
Yeah, the third one's amazing. Underrated. I think it's getting a little bit more love now that it's getting all these good releases and people are actually checking it out for real. But
I mean, I don't love possession movies either. I mean, there's how many great ones are there, you know?
Exorcist.
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Well, I mean, there's like different kind of possession. There's like the exorcism possession, and then there's like Evil Dead possession.
Evil Dead possession all day. Love all that shit.
Yeah, because it's like balls to the wall.
It's just bad shit. And Evil Dead scares me. Even that's a different kind of possession because they don't know where it's from.
It's from the Necronomicon.
Yeah, but they don't know how it works. It's from there's like, what the fuck is this? We don't understand.
The incantations of the human.
Yeah, but they don't understand how to stop it. That's why I like it. It's just weird.
You just mumble some words.
That's exactly. That's what happens. That's how you just fucking.
It's kind of funny too. I'm not like the biggest fan of possession films too, but I've seen two really good ones recently: in The Cleansing Hour and The Day of the Lord.
Yeah, the Lord's good.
I thought they were both pretty
liked
good.
The Cleansing Hour. I had some narrative issues with it. Like, let me just throw this out there. I was talking to Carly about it. So whenever it's so stupid because like the dude will like pull him to the side and be like, "Dude, you know, I'm not gonna ruin my character." I'm like, can they not hear him? Like, why can't the audience hear that?
Because he has a mic on, right?
Well, I mean, the only way they wouldn't be able to hear him is if they
from everywhere else.
Well, if the producer muted his mic, maybe.
But they're not. There's no producer.
He is the producer.
I haven't seen it.
Well,
yet,
no, the
so.
producer's the guy, literally the guy behind the boards. I mean, we're talking about
but he's up. He's not behind the boards anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying the only way he wouldn't be able to be heard is if they muted his mic, which is just a button.
Yeah, and then another issue I have is and I'll be very like vague about it, but the like thing that they think of that's like, oh, we need to confess this. I'm like, come on, you would have thought of that like 10 confessions ago.
Me too. There's one thing in the movie where like they get mad at each other. I'm like, dude, there's dead bodies in here. This is not important right now.
It didn't feel like so cheesy, like
it felt like
standard.
Well, I also kind of think
bullshit.
Yeah,
right there.
I was so unhappy about
I think
that's what took it down a little for me.
Yeah, but you got to remember though. I mean, they were all about that fame. That's what the whole point was, right? Because they were.
I think we're talking about different things here.
Yeah, I know what Dave's talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about how they really mad at each other at the end. But if Moods, let's say we're all in a group together and Jerry and fucking JP's heads are ripped off and Moods is mad at me from something that happened 20 years ago, and I'm like, grow the fuck up, dude. We got fucking dead bodies.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If I fucking
right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So
I'm like, dude, this is not important. Whatever.
Although it was really cool on certain aspects, little things like that really hurt my rate. Like, I still gave it an 8. I thought it was really good. But, like, it could have been 8.5 or a 9 had there not been, like, those dumb things that I just eye roll at, like, decision-making in the script.
I think I rate hard. Like, a 6 to me is a recommend. Like, I don't know.
Really? Not me. A 7 or higher is recommend. To me, anything under a 7 is a skip.
A 7 I really like. A 6 I like. So a 6 I like. A 7 I really like. I don't give 8s very often. If I give an 8, I really like it.
Dude, here's the thing.
I always recommend everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do too. I'm like,
no, even if I rate something like 3 out of 10, I'll be like, yo, man, you might get more. I never tell people not to watch movies unless it's fucking deja vu.
But
yeah,
what
I
I'm
tell
saying,
them why
look at it this way, Dave. The reason why I don't consider a 6.5 a recommend, because if I'm like, here's a list of movies I watched, when are you ever going to pick the 6.5 if you're basing it off of what I just said?
If I know the person's taste, I would recommend something more if it's a 6.
That's right, but that's more of a personal recommendation. I'm just saying in a blind setting where it's like nobody's going to go after the 6.5. So, but a 7, if it sounded interesting, they'll probably go with that. But a 6.5, 6, nobody's going to seek out a 6. If you tell me it's a 6, if for example, this year, if it's a film that I have, no knowledge of, and you give it a 6 and Moods gives it a 6 and Jeremy gives it a 6, I'm not watching it this year.
What if I put a little heart next to it?
Okay. Well,
I think the heart makes a difference.
The 7 and above is key for me.
It makes sense. Like a heart makes a difference to me. That means I like it, but somebody might like it.
I don't put too much
feature on Letterboxd.
I know a lot of people put a lot of stock into the ratings and stuff, but I always say, like, if I rate something 5.5, I'd be like, yo, man, I mean, at that point, it's, the way I rate comes down to, we've explained this many, many times before. It's, enjoyment of the film, entertainment value, plus, some technical aspects of it. Right. So the ratings are always different I mean, I've rated films super low before, and then people are like come in and like, oh, I love that. I mean, look at Blair Witch, for instance. I fucking got nothing out of that shit. You guys got a lot more out of it, but that's a great example of a film that I was just like trashing
the new one.
Yeah,
but I was wrong.
That's
that movie's not good.
Well, so maybe there was a time you actually admitted anyways. But, I mean, that's a great example. But I never told people not to watch it. I'm like, personally, I hated I thought it was trash bags right from the start. And people are like, oh, you're being so harsh on it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, no, man, watch it. Don't take my 3 to heart, man. You might actually like, and some people did. They're like, I gave it like a 6. And I'm like, really?
Can we timestamp JP admitting he's wrong?
That is very interesting. Good note, Jerry. So
yeah, we'll actually cut that out and use it out of context all the time. Every time I'm arguing with him, I'm just going to post, I was wrong.
I was
wrong.
Shut up, Dave.
I got taken back there. I was wrong.
I got a little taken back there. I'm not going to lie. JP openly admitting that he was wrong. So if you were to just
I've done that before.
Give a rating right off the top of your dome right now for that fucking piece of shit, what would you give it now?
It was definitely not as like harsh as you did, but I do have my rating for. I watched it last year again. To just sort of revisit, first watch since the theater, and I gave it. What did I re-rate it? A 6.
You're still at a 6? What did you rate it before?
I was at like a 7.5.
That's a Dave Parker recommend, a 6.
So I was in at a 3, and you were at a 7.5 on that show. Wow, that's a really big difference.
Think so.
3?
I hated it. Dude,
well, let's see if I can make Moods mad real quick.
It was so bad. It was really
I might have gave it
bad.
a 5.
And I'm glad that there was a couple people that I really, really respect in this horror community that were completely on my side. I'll never forget it because Dave, fucking Tom, Horsball, completely agreed with me.
Well, that is like completely not
I was. What do you mean? I respect that
dude. He hates stuff like
that's not true.
Like, that is
I don't know why you're tunnel visioned on that aspect of Tom, because it's not true. He likes a lot of mainstream things, tons and tons of mainstream.
No. I'm not saying mainstream. I'm saying like I'm like done like this. Like he hates CG. He hates fucking like poor time jump like. Those kind of jump scares and stuff like that.
That's pretty much what I hate that shit too. You know that.
Right.
And I just feel like a film, like there's just, oh my God. But it wasn't just that. It was, the whole direction of the film was fucking garbage. But anyways, Jerry.
I liked it better than the original Blair Witch.
I think the way they should have done this film is they honestly should have started the film where it ended. And then done a narrative from that point instead of starting at this point and going back to this, and like, I just feel like the whole journey in the narration is just, dude, it's painful, man. It's fucking painful. It's just an awful movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
it was a 5.5 out of 10. I just checked.
Love it.
5.5. See, I mean, still not good.
So I went down from like a 7.5 to a 5.5. That's a fucking huge drop in terms.
So I shouldn't watch it. I'm not gonna watch it.
No, dude, it like annoyed the shit out of me because like watching it the second time, it just doesn't have any substance. Like watching it in the theater, the jump scares really were effective the first time I seen it. It has no effect on the second watch, and honestly, I was getting frustrated at how cool it could have been. I was like, oh, dude, this totally could have been mad cool if they did this.
The whole story in that movie is garbage, man. They fucked up.
Blair Witch 2 is way better than this one.
Honestly, I wouldn't say it's way better, but it's definitely a lot more enjoyable. I would prefer to watch Blair Witch 2 over fucking Blair Witch. So, fuck that. All right. Jerry, you like that one more than the original. That's interesting.
Yep. Though JP knows that I don't like the original at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I respect when people say that. We've talked about this many, many times on the show. And like, I always, the Blair Witch Project is one of those films that when I hear people say they don't care for it, I'm like, yeah, man, I totally don't even need an explanation for it. I just automatically get it. But then again, going back to the flip side of the argument, when people say they don't like The Shining, I get confused. I'm like, what the fuck is not like to like about that? But I get the Blair Witch Project, man. And you're a fan of found footage too, aren't you?
Walking around in the woods for most of the movie.
Yeah, but you're a fan of found footage though, right, Jerry?
A recent fan. Only the past couple of years have I become a fan of found footage.
Okay, so that actually explains a little bit. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense, right? Interesting.
What's your favorite found footage, Jerry?
I don't know if it's fucking it's Occult, Japanese flick, Occult.
I was gonna watch that today, but I started watching Cult instead by the same director, and I was like,
Cult's okay, but
I was enjoying it, but then I realized I was 15 minutes into the wrong movie, and I was like, I'm really on a crunch time here.
No, you gotta watch Occult. Occult is fucking it's on YouTube.
Too. I have a shitload of these movies that you can't buy in the United States on my Plex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that director did a record of Sweet Murder too. And Norroy is great too.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Yeah. Record of Sweet Murder. I fucking love that movie.
Oh, Record of Sweet Murder.
You've seen Norroy.
That's a good movie.
Norroy the Curse is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Occult is just found footage done so fucking differently, and it's such a unique, interesting story, and that's why I like it. Like, it's just now the ending is going to make you immediately want to say, "Well, that was a waste of fucking all this good energy." But get over that little fucking ending of bad CGI, and you'll be fine.
I feel like that's that director's MO. It's just
it really
weird. And what I've seen so far, I'm like, these are all really cool and grotesque. Which
the ending to the Sweet Murder, man, was really cool.
Yeah.
If you liked the ending for Sweet Murder, you could almost say Occult is in the same universe.
Okay. That's interesting. That's really interesting because that ending stuck with me for a while.
Yeah, actually, so is Cult. Cult, and Record of Sweet Murder could have all taken place in the exact same universe.
Yeah, I recently watched Nori. I think it was someone Patreon that one for me. I think last year or something like that, and it was the first time watch. That is fucking one that I can't believe that I missed out on. That's a great movie.
Me too. I watched it for 05, and I was just like, well, let's get this one over with because it's popular. I was just like, dude, this is fucking great.
It's so good. Really, really fucking just full attention, and it's really good, man. Good shit.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's amazing he's done so many found footage movies and has been able to do something unique with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm not the biggest. Like, I love some found footage movies, but found footage does get a bad name because they had all that direct-to-video garbage that are ripoffs of, like, bad movies. You know what I mean? Like, they just had a bunch of shitty movies come out, and it's just, like, back-to-back. But some of the big classics are found footage movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've learned to love found footage.
Done right, it's great, but that's with any genre.
It took me a long time to admit that I really liked found footage. I kept wanting to be like...
It's like I didn't realize it or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was too. And like, I knew that I liked some, but I think there was a time again, you know, in the later 2000s where it was just bogging down the industry, man. It was just like a flooding of zombie films and found footage and shit. And you start thinking to yourself, I'm like, I fucking hate these movies. When in fact you really don't. You know, it's just you got to weed through the shit piles to find the good ones, but there is a lot of really good ones.
It also, once it becomes a gimmick or a fad, it becomes annoying, right? Because then you start hearing, oh, they're going to do the next Halloween and found footage. Oh, they're going to do
that was Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was getting to that.
Getting to it.
There was rumors for both back when Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer were doing Halloween 3. There was rumors that it was going to possibly be found footage as well. But
how bad that would have been.
Honestly, like, I don't even know. Like, Halloween, yeah, but like Friday the 13th, like, I'm not even totally against it right now.
Halloween would.
Yeah,
I don't want to see any of those major franchises go to found footage. I just don't think it works properly.
Me neither. But maybe a slasher in found footage, that would be fun.
Nightmare on Elm Street would be nonsensical. You just see people waking up from dreams and shit. I'm gonna videotape myself sleeping.
I don't even know if you could do that found footage. I don't think the two even mix properly. Like, I don't know how you could ever do that.
You couldn't do Elm Street.
No. But, yeah, the problem is with found footage is that there's only so many different types of narratives that you can do.
They could come up with some like gimmick where it's the futuristic times and there's chips inside people's heads that record dreams and crap like that. Then they could be like,
what's the point?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's possible.
I just feel like
it's got a good point. That would actually be kind of interesting. Like, because they could almost look. Well, is it a computer virus? Is it real? Is it only in their dreams? Like, I think.
But if it's recording your dreams, it wouldn't be from the point of view of
you. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it would be like the point of view of your dream, which is just regular film.
The point of view of your dream is not you. You sometimes step outside of your body in your dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not always you. But what would be really cool, I bet I could see a found footage movie just doing this, where it's just like, I'm going to record myself sleeping and then talk about the dreams I had and then make that like a fan film.
That's funny.
I seen him, and he had razor sharp gloves, and it's just like.
And then he was talking about Chex Mix. It was horrifying.
I feel like I only dream in third person. No, I'm thinking of it.
I don't really dream that much unless I'm on medication.
I don't remember my dreams much either anymore. Seems like the older I get, man, the less I remember, which I guess is just natural in general. But
you dream when you learn something. The more you learn or have new experiences, they say you dream when you sleep. Okay. I don't know if that's true. So the older you get, the less new experiences you have. So
I don't learn things. Way to go! You're making me feel dumb.
Well, no, new experiences. So let's say you visited a new day or something. You went somewhere weird.
Yeah.
Like you're in a new city right now. You might have some dreams tonight because you may have seen some things that you haven't seen in a long time.
No, I don't really dream because I wake up every 2 hours.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
So you have insomnia.
Yeah, you're not getting into stage 4.
Well, if you have insomnia. Well, you need to be in a deep sleep to dream, right? So it usually takes more.
No, you don't. No.
I mean, to get.
Well, generally you do actually. You can nap and be in a deep sleep.
REM's not deep sleep.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, they say, yeah, I think you do actually.
I'm gonna look it up.
Rapid eye movement.
You're supposed to be in a deep sleep to be able to.
Stage 4.
Something.
You can have like minor dreams without in stage 4, but I mean that's where the heavy dreams come in.
I think it helps, but
But found footage. I was talking to Dave the other day, and it kind of would have been cool to do like an exorcism through like that desktop, like through the live stream. You know how they're doing it in Cleansing Hour, but actually have it as only from the point of view of the live stream. That kind of cool.
Okay, there is a difference between REM and deep sleep, but REM takes place in deep sleep, but deep sleep is restorative to the body, while REM is more integration for the mind. So there's a difference, but they're both
basically my religion.
Yeah, you guys are basically right, but also one restores the body while one is using the mind.
Either way, I wake up every 2 hours. I'm not getting proper sleep.
No, yeah.
You're not getting REM sleep or deep sleep.
No.
Yeah.
You're just dying.
Pretty much.
What you're getting is called SHIT sleep.
Yep.
Oh. Hey, well, it'll be good, though. If I die, y'all could be like, oh, his last recorded show was our show, and we killed him, and it was Jeremy's secret plot.
Dude, I wouldn't even talk like that, man, because I feel like we're responsible for a bunch of deaths.
What?
We've made the mistake of talking about people, and then they die, like, right after and shit. It's really bizarre. It's happened. But then we've been responsible on the flip side of that, too. We'll bring something up, and then all of a sudden it'll either get announced
or Bloody Disgusting will do an article on it.
Or somebody will do an article.
About Jerry then?
It's really, really fucking weird, man. Who did this happen to? We talked about them and then they died like right after, and I was like, man, this is getting bizarre. This happened a while ago.
It's creepy.
It is kind of creepy, actually. But the whole article thing is a little bit weird. I feel like they're just stealing what we're talking about, and they're like,
I love right after our anime shows, they write Bloody Disgusting writes an article about, I forgot, Demon City or one of those movies that we reviewed. It's
Demon weird. City Shinjuku?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It actually was on that, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's insane. Me and Jeremy have always talked about this. It's insane how often we'll do Texas Chainsaw franchise, and then like the next week some article on Bloody Disgusting will be like about Texas Chainsaw 3 or something like that.
Well,
it's happened dozens of times.
You know, these people are just writers and they're fans, so they listen to podcasts.
There's no way that at least those.
Yeah, see, as much as we like to think that they're actually listening to this show, they're not. It's purely coincidental. It is, but the thing is, though, I mean, there becomes a point when you start to question the coincidences because it keeps happening over and over again. Like
the horror market the horror fan base is not like the online horror fan base is not as big as people think. Like not for hardcore fans like us.
I think still one of the craziest things that I ever got, man, was a message from the chick from Rue Morgue. She messaged me one time about reviewing Rue Morgue magazine and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I mean, you don't have to send me anything because I actually am a subscriber to the magazine and stuff. She's like, oh, cool. And she actually brought up our show. I'm like, she's listened to our show before. I was like, the craziest shit.
They need to put it in the damn magazine.
Yeah, she's like the hot editor from Rue Morgue. She's got a YouTube channel too and shit. But
well, they're not going to put it in the magazine because Jeremy said fag already.
Because I didn't mention it. She brought up the 22 Shots, Moods, and Horror podcast.
Jeremy ruins our chance to ever get monetized.
Okay, here's what we do. We replace Jeremy with me. The names both sound
Jerry
like Jay. They'll just think
cunt. That's just as bad as fag.
No, it's completely acceptable.
No, because in the UK you can say cunt.
Yeah.
Now you're being racist towards the UK, Jeremy.
Well, cunt is like saying hi in Australia.
Yeah. First you're homophobic, and now you hate people from the UK. What's next?
I don't know.
Jeez. You need to clean up your act, Jeremy.
Never gonna happen.
Fucking filthy ass mouth. Jesus.
What do you guys think of Chappelle on Saturday Night Live?
What does that have to do with horror?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
Dave Chappelle's amazing.
I didn't watch it, but I love Dave Chappelle.
You know what I love about Dave Chappelle? He gives no fucks. I mean, he's the one that's going to go out there and drop N-bombs on network television and shit and not give a fuck. But it's the timing of it, too. You can't just do that any time. I mean, it was acceptable at this time because it was very political and heavy-handed and shit. And it did what it was supposed to do, man. Dave Chappelle, he's a fucking master. He's like,
I love him.
He's this generation's fucking like Carlin and shit. Like, he's just so good with noting everything. He says the shit that people are thinking, you know, but he makes it funny and relevant, and it's great.
I just think he's so relaxed on stage that
it's because he doesn't. It's like he has no pressure. He's just doing what the fuck he wants to do.
No, because Dave Chappelle, that's his personality, man. You know what I love about Chappelle is that he goes out there. When was the last time you seen somebody smoke?
He literally just gave up comedy because he's like, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? And then came back.
I would too if I had enough money.
Well, there was a little bit
got
more
annoyed
to
if I
it than
got
just saying "fuck y'all." It was yeah. There was a
Comedy
lot.
Central fucking them.
It was Comedy Central trying to fucking basically go all PC on him and shit, and he was getting in
I know,
shit for all
that's
the
when
shit
he was like, "Fuck y'all, I don't."
But
need to
I
do
respect.
this
See,
shit."
people were like, "Oh, fuck Dave Chappelle for leaving." Blah blah. I'm like, no, he was making a statement. He was like saying, "You guys can't censor my shit. I'm gonna do what I need to do." See, I'm the one
Right,
that's making you guys all this money here and doing what I am doing. As long as I have the creative control on this show, you guys are gonna make billions and billions of dollars. If you're gonna say you can't say fag and cunt and the N-word and shit like that, no, I'm fucking walking, guys. I've already made you a shit ton of money. Made you, you know, I totally respect what he did. But
Yeah, Chappelle show was so hot back then, dude.
because it was so fresh. The comedy was so real and it was fresh and it was amazing. And he was just he knew what was up in society. You know?
That was so fucking funny, dude.
It was so fucking good, dude. He would like, oh man, the fact that he had like Charlie Murphy on there doing the Charlie Murphy stories, like he had the greatest segments that he created.
Charlie Murphy,
fucking so good, dude, man. But when was the last time you seen somebody smoking on SNL?
That's what I said.
You're
It's
not even
crazy.
allowed. Like Netflix banned smoking on their Netflix movies and shit. Like that's how fucking crazy this world's gone.
they put a smoke warrant.
And here is
They're
Dave
smoking
Chappelle
film.
on fucking network, international TV, and he's smoking on there. I'm like, this is crazy. It's just so cool to see. I mean, yeah, big ups
Can't
to him,
even
man.
smoke inside anymore.
Haven't been able to smoke inside here since '96.
I mean, that might be a good thing. You should be able to really smoke inside, but smoking on a movie and shit, who cares? Like, if you're portraying a character that's like a villain, and it's
No.
like, oh, he can't. say
But he's not.
mean
He's
things.
portraying himself.
But that's
No,
what I'm
just
saying.
saying
Dave
people
Chappelle's
in
such a big
general.
deal that
And Netflix, I'm talking about. You said they don't let people smoke on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's dumb when you portray a guy who just mass murdered 50 people, but he can't have a fucking cigarette.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they
Well,
really respect Dave Chappelle.
I think a lot of it comes from people complaining when like the hero smokes.
Who gives a fuck, dude? He's stressed out. He just killed 50 people.
It's crazy how the world's so different. Back in the 50s
No,
and shit,
I
it was
agree.
glamorized.
I know, dude.
I
like,
know, but it's just dumb. It's fucking
it's so
dumb.
stupid because it's just
Well,
like
if we
when
show
you
them
were a
smoke-
kid, were you ever like, oh man, I gotta smoke because they did in that movie?
I mean,
Yes,
they used to
I
advertise
actually.
kids, but
have to say, I started smoking cigarettes because Chief Brody from Jaws smoked cigarettes.
that's your fucking fault.
Dude,
Yeah, that's
fucking serious, man.
dumb, dude.
No, it is. It's your parents' fault. It's everybody's but that movie's fault. Chief Brody wasn't like, hey, kid, have a cigarette.
Well, that's like the argument that violent video games make people violent. It's like that's
Yeah.
a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, they do used to advertise directly to kids on billboard signs and Joe Camel smoking cool, but I'm sorry, man. Like, you got to know
Well,
that it's bad.
There's literally a
It's-
brand of cigarettes called Cool.
Yeah,
Like that is crazy.
everybody's like, I want to be the Marlboro man. I want to be a fucking cowboy and smoke cigarettes and get them
Yeah.
points. But fucking, we all know it's bad. When you have bad guys smoking or people smoking in general in violent situations, you let them shoot a bunch of people, but they can't have a cigarette.
Yeah, you can make a show about teenagers getting drunk and one of them raping another one and then her killing herself. As long as no one
Can't have
smokes a cigarette.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. But what are they thinking? Like, man, they won't rape and kill somebody because they won't cross that line, but they'll certainly have a cigarette after they'll cross that line. I don't fucking, I don't know. It's fucking a bunch of people. That
But it just goes to show you how much.
But cigarettes aren't even cool anymore. Like when I was
Vaping, bro.
growing up, it was like it was like cool to smoke in the bathroom with the other dudes. Or
Okay,
whatever.
Motley
like,
Crue.
Everybody thinks people who smoke are fucking dumb. No,
Brownsville Station smoking
Yeah.
in the boys' room.
Remake by Motley Crue.
Yeah.
But that just goes to prove like what kind of pull Dave Chappelle really has these days, man. You know.
well, who's
Like-
gonna tell him no? It's like
But it's because of who he is. Right?
I think back in the
I don't
day
think that.
before Louis C.K. got all canceled, I think he would be the same way. It's like you can't tell him no. He's already so successful.
Well, just put it this way, man.
at
If
everything
Owen
he
Wilson
does.
well, you
said,
can
"Hey,
tell
during
him no, but he's just not going to do it.
Just tell me,
Yeah.
like if Owen Wilson said to
He-
Lorne
he-
Michaels,
he
he's
has
like,
the
"Yo,"
leverage.
he's like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna fucking smoke a cigarette in my monologue." Lorne Michaels will look at him and go, "You're fucking crazy,
Yeah.
and plus you're ugly and your nose sucks." So,
Wow. Personal shot.
but like the only fucking person that we're letting do this shit is Dave Chappelle, because he's awesome as a
Dave
motherfucker.
Chappelle.
It's all about he puts asses in seats. Like they're not. That's what I just explained that to somebody anyways. They're like, They were like, they're not going to pay Mike Tyson big money for that fight. I was like, he's a bum. I was like, they'll pay Mike Tyson big money because every Joe Blow is going to want to see Mike Tyson fight because everybody knows who the fuck
Mike Tyson's getting paid huge money for it, man.
No shit, because everybody knows who he is. Not everybody knows who Tyson Fury is. No. All the half-ass boxing fans, which I don't watch boxing anymore. I fucking love MMA, but everybody knows Mike Tyson, and everybody's going to see that
dude.
fight.
I never got a chance to see Tyson fight. You're damn right.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to watch Tyson fight? He's fucking bad.
Have you seen Tyson training lately? That shit is fucking freaky, man. It's freaky.
That is one of the scariest human beings on the planet.
Dude, he's moving like he's fucking like 20. It's ridiculous, man. That's scary.
If
scary.
You put asses in seats, you can do more. Like, why do you think Conor McGregor and John Jones don't get fired? Because they bring in big money. They fucking break the law.
I like Mike Tyson, man.
No one
honestly,
let's stop acting like you care.
That's why 22 Shots is.
He's reinvented himself to the point where like he's fun, man. You gotta check him out on the smoke box with Be Real. That fucking smoke box is awesome.
Down, right? Can't hold moods down.
Fuck
moods don't.
Absolutely not, man.
Should we get into some news?
Jerry's getting mad at us.
What? I'm not getting mad at you.
No, we still got 5 questions with Jerry.
Oh, shit.
We did 5 questions with Jerry last
I'm totally joking.
Oh,
it was just to piss off Jeremy because he's like, he's got to be the one to move it along.
Question number 1: why is Jeremy a bitch?
Oh my god, this podcast is gonna be 10 hours long now.
Wait, so I can't read my 20,000 word essay on it?
Oh, I told you he's gonna write a 20,000 essay. Didn't I say that in the chat?
That's when we do.
I said Jerry's gonna have a fucking huge essay about contamination or some shit.
Yeah, man, we should probably move this along. I'm not really too sure how long this intro went on for, but it probably was long enough. I don't think it was as long as last week, but anyways, yeah, that's gonna do it for the intro. Let's move this along.
Do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
All right, JP. So we got some news this week.
Yeah. Speaking of Paranormal Activity, the writer of the new film said that the film is dated for the new Paranormal Activity is dated for March 4th, 2022. So we won't have to.
Why don't we just wait until then to do the damn show?
that dude would not be happy about that.
Well, you know what that means. Franchise
Unless he
roundup.
wants to pick something else, and then we can wait for that.
No. I'm not fucking watching those shitty things again.
It just means franchise roundup
it's
again.
So long from now.
We're already behind on these motherfuckers anyways. Like, actually, Matt today actually asked me about a franchise roundup because we got to do the new Tremors film too, right? Mm-hmm. And I know we're behind. I can't remember exactly which films that we have to do.
Phantasm 5.
Oh yeah, Phantasm 5. Good one.
Child's
Good call.
Play.
Child's Play. There you go. There's one show right there. And I think there's more. So, yeah. Like we should start getting this out of the way before we end up having to do like 2 or 3 franchise roundups like in a row. Because that's not cool. I don't want this another like stretch of fucking OG verse remake shows. You know what I'm saying?
Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, and Leprechaun Returns.
Oh my god. There you go.
You might as well wait till a third Leprechaun and just do a Leprechaun show.
That's what I said.
We actually joked about that, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be Leprechaun franchise part 2. Which is funny because that was one of the first like 13 episodes. I think it was like episode 13 or something, that first show.
I like that new Leprechaun movie actually.
Yeah, me too.
Call me crazy.
I loved it. It was
fun.
great.
It was fine. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Paranormal Activity 2022. Unfortunately, the guy in Phantasm passed away. The guy who gets the ball brain kill.
And the first one?
The first one.
That guy was like
Ken
48
Jones.
in that movie.
Yeah, he passed away.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Angus Scrim. I was like, dude, this is not news.
Yeah, he passed away a long time ago.
Really? I
yeah,
didn't
Ken
know.
Jones. You don't even know who Angus Scrim is. Shut up. This
Fuck
guy's
you,
fake. Jeremy's fake. He sends me a picture of this badass Friday the 13th hoodie. And he's like, had to get it. I'm like, you don't even like this franchise. You don't even see them all.
It took me a second to even realize what that hoodie was. I had to like zoom in. I was like, oh, it's the Friday the 13th hoodie.
Poser.
Part 3.
Yeah, I got that from that after.
Have you even seen part 3?
Yeah.
Did it make your top 10 of 1982?
I don't usually have sequels on my top 10 list anyway.
What the fuck does that even mean?
And name one character in part 3 besides Jason.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. I've seen it, though.
We just watched it last year.
Shelley.
There you go. Shelley. That's
okay.
all.
I'm actually proud that he knew at least one.
No, Jeremy
that's
didn't.
all
That was
everybody-
Jerry.
I think
Oh, that
everybody
was
would just
Jerry?
name Shelley. Shelley's the fucking. I've never understood why people consider him to be the most annoying character in the Friday the 13th franchise. I think he's actually fun as hell.
And I also heard you guys, people say they hate Franklin. I'm like, dude, what do you expect? You literally drug a guy in a wheelchair to a fucking swimming hole, you cocksucker. What do you want him to do? Fucking sit in his goddamn wheel- Literally, everybody's like, he's such an asshole. It's like, it's 100 degrees. He's in a wheelchair. He's fucking bored out of his mind. He can't swim. He can't do anything. I don't know if his parents probably made him go. They're like, take your brother. And then everybody's mad at him because he's fucking terrified and gonna die. I literally don't. Franklin's funny. I like him.
Dude, I agree. And like the whole like where he's like, come on, Franklin, it'll be fun. Like
He's blowing the
I love
raspberries.
that.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
If he was out of that movie, there'd be a lot less character in it. I like him.
He's the most interesting one. Like the two dudes, they're fucking plain and boring.
They're just everybody's like just normal besides Franklin, like, except all the weirdos. They come and stop by like everybody in that town's a weirdo. Like that drunk guy passed out in the fucking grass and shit.
Franklin steals the show, dude.
Yeah,
out of that cast.
I like all the characters in that movie. There's not one character I dislike.
Sometimes people confuse like annoying with like bad. Like just because the character's annoying, like he's the annoying little brother who's in a fucking wheelchair. He's playing the part perfectly.
He's whiny.
Yeah, but
he's
fucking
whiny,
situation.
But Dave made a good point. Like he brought a dude in a wheelchair.
They're like, hey, let's go to the swim, dude. He's fucking dude. What do you want him to be? Happy about the situation? It's 100 goddamn degrees in that van. I'd be losing my shit, dude. Have you ever been on vacation?
Well, he could just be happy for everybody else that's gonna have fun. I mean, really.
Dude, nobody's having fun.
Well, there's potential fun there. Come on, he's just miserable.
Potential fun until they pick up the hitchhiker, and then they're mad at him that he's bitching about being cut by a fucking straight razor. I'm like, drive me to the hospital. I want my fucking HIV prevention shot right now.
There was no HIV.
That was
I know,
way green.
I know, dumb fuck. I know. You don't know nothing about STDs.
I love when Jeremy
not to get one.
Dumbass. Okay, Red.
Guy fucking timestamps jokes. Oh, you can't say that joke. That wasn't invented until 1968. Talking about 1964 right now. What are you fucking IMDb on fucking like World War II movies? Well, they didn't have that stock of gun at that time, so this movie sucks.
Hey, I do that.
Fucking so true, right? Oh my god.
Talk about an Italian fucking war movie. Who gives a fuck?
That was great. That was great.
Should have said tetanus.
Fuck Franklin.
What?
Fuck Franklin.
Should have said tetanus instead of HIV. Would have made more sense.
Oh, I'll take that down next time I use that joke and write it down. I'll put it in my notepad. I'll scratch off my AIDS joke and put tetanus.
Mikosi.
No, we're gonna, instead of me Scoozy, this time we're gonna say me Cozzi.
Cozzi. Is it Cozzi or Cozy? Luigi Cozzi.
Cozy.
I think it's Cozzi. Me Cozzi.
Me Cozzi.
Me Cozzi.
All right.
Phantasm.
Yeah, love Phantasm. Next up, Lucky McKee's next movie is titled Old Man and will star Stephen Lang.
It would be great if it said.
I thought you were
we'll
going to say Angela
Old Man.
Bettis. It's got to be Angela Bettis, man.
Dude, did you guys watch Kindred Spirits? His movie from this year. It's okay.
I saw it last year.
He put out a new movie this year?
Yeah, it's like a TV
What's
movie.
the last good movie he made?
I saw it at Cinepocalypse.
The Woman was great. What do you make after that?
Garbage, probably.
The cheerleader movie.
I turned that off.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
That was awful.
I actually didn't mind the cheerleader movie.
I didn't like it. Okay, it says,
That's
set
bullshit.
deep in the woods, the plot follows a lost hiker who stumbles upon a cabin of an erratic and reclusive old man. When What starts off as cordial conversation soon turns dangerous as it becomes clear that one or both of them might be hiding a terrifying secret. That actually sounds kind of cool.
I met him.
Sounds like a Stephen Lang role.
He did a Q&A.
Did anyone see this shit, man? Apparently it came out last year. It's called Deathcember. It's called Deathcember. And it's literally, it's kind of the same thing as, the same idea as ABC's A Horror. It's a collection of 24 films that look at the dark side of the festive season.
Sounds pretty cool.
So he did a short in that in Deathcember. So I don't know if this actually ever made its way anywhere out.
I don't know. If that's released, I will avoid it like the plague, because if it's been released and it's about that and nobody's been talking about it, it's probably garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it says the country origin is Germany here. So, okay, let me see. It was late in 2019. It's still in the film festivals. It's played at a ton of film festivals this year and playing. So it actually hasn't oh, never mind. December 4th it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Ooh.
And
well,
US December 1st in the US. So digital platforms November 24th. So in the US. So it's coming.
I do.
That's probably why no one's even fucking said anything about it, because it hasn't dropped yet.
Speaking of which, we need to do
24 shorts is rough. 24 shorts is rough.
But a themed one? Like ABC's A Horror is kind of all over the place, right? It's just the theme is the alphabet, you know.
Yeah,
that's
such a
the
bad
theme.
Fucking vague idea.
It is such. But this is kind of cool because it's literally all about Christmas.
Yeah, but that's going to be so rough. Like,
that's
how
a
many
lot of
fucking
Christmas.
killer Santa Clauses are going to have?
Let's face it here, man. Every anthology.
What
out
about
there,
Hanukkah, you fucking dickheads?
Nobody cares,
Hanukkah's
Jeremy.
not Christmas.
Nobody cares. But
Speaking of Hanukkah, did anybody watch that Hanukkah slasher movie with Sid Haig?
No.
No, I kind of value my time just a little bit.
But like any anthology film, though, you're going to have good and bad shorts.
Bad. I heard it's bad. I heard Hanukkah's bad.
Does anybody expect it not to be really though?
If we can get 15 out of 24 that are decent, I'll be happy. This shit's running 2 hours and 25 fucking minutes.
Not watching it, man. Not watching it.
Fuck that. I'm watching this shit, man.
You'll like one, and then you'll hate one, and then you'll like one, and then you forget like 6, and then you're like,
dude. I thought the ABC's of Death, the first one wasn't. I thought the second one was better than the first one, actually.
You know the worst sign for an anthology? The absolute worst sign is when the first segment sucks. You're like,
But you know what, man? With ABC's, it could be. Yeah.
If the first segment sucks, you don't like. I can't even imagine putting. Not the best. If you have a rough anthology, at very least you can put the best segment at the beginning.
Yeah, and then the worst in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, a little breaking news here. Jim how do you say his name? Reles? I don't fucking know.
I have no idea who the fuck you're talking. Oh,
yeah.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Jim from Toronto has just reviewed his 28th Amityville film.
How is this breaking news? What the fuck? Who are we breaking this to?
This was on CNN.
No offense to Jim.
No
offense to Jim Cornelius Duncan Basketball, whatever his last name is, man. But this guy has a lot of patience, man.
He watched all the witchcraft.
I got to respect this guy because he's how many? Would you say 28th Amityville film?
28. This one's called Witches of Amityville.
This is fucking crazy, dude. That there's
How
so
many.
many.
Do you watch before your wife divorces you?
I'm assuming he's not married.
She's like,
I love that guy. I've been updating the article on the website too. Like every time he gets like another 2 or something.
Jeremy, do you hear this fucking guy? He updates this part of the website, but he can't put the ratings there's still top 10 lists from 2 years ago you haven't fucking put on there.
How long it takes to do the things that you're talking about,
dude?
Though.
Do the top 10 list.
It's easy to update that article. It takes 2 seconds.
Since episode 182.
Dude, you gotta do the top 10 list because the visual top 10 forums are so much fun to go through. I like looking through those and I keep missing them.
I get you. I want to update those too, but keep in mind the reason that I'm not updating the ratings and stuff like that is because it links to the episode, and in order to do that, we don't want to. If we're leaving Horrorphilia and the links,
we never really said that we're doing that, but
yeah, we did.
Well, everybody knows we're leaving Horrorphilia, though.
Yeah, but so
you're leaving Horrorphilia.
some of those shows direct back to horror so I'm gonna have to go and fix all those. So why would I put new ones up and then have to go and fix them all over again?
All right.
Okay, I get your explanation here, JP, but going back to what I originally said,
does that have to do with
what
the
about
top
the top
10?
10 list? That doesn't link to anything. And that's what people are interested in. People love lists. They want to see it in visual form. You're still missing fucking 2019.
Those are fucking pain.
I'll take any list.
91's not on there.
How many am I missing?
I think there's 3. 1991, 1919. Yeah, we did a top 10 for 1919. Fuck. 2019, 1991 was at least
soon to be 2020.
And soon to
be 2020. 85? Is 85 on there?
No, I need a picture from you, Dave.
Oh, so there you go. What? So there's actually 3 missing. I was right.
What did you say for what?
Are you going to put my picture online?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think he's pretty much joking, guys, because he has a picture of himself on his weekly review podcast.
Yeah, I have a million pictures. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I love your expressions in every one of those, man. It's like you're just like dead serious but not serious at all. I love it.
Sometimes I forget to like do a picture or like of a stack of them, so I just find a random fucking still and then I get lazy sometimes and I'm like, I shouldn't use that still. But I do it anyway.
Actually, this week's one made me laugh because I felt like that's exactly what you did.
That's exactly what I fucking did. I was disheveled and I was rushing.
So you started putting the trailers down in the little corners?
Some of them, yeah, because I don't want to get hit with it. They can't really. It's going to be very hard for them.
That'll stop you from getting hit with copyright if you do that.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't mind the copyright. I just don't want it to be taken down.
Also, I just got to say, I start listening to your new episode, and you're like, oh, by the way, guys, I found this cool thing, archive.org, where I could put my things on.
I didn't give you a shout out, did I?
No, and not only that, but you told me, what the fuck, this thing doesn't work, and then you never told me that it ended up working.
Oh, no, I had to email the lady. Somebody there, some lady, I emailed her, and she took care of it and fixed it. It said it was coming up as spam, so she had to just like correct me and maybe make my account not spam. I don't know, it was weird.
Probably because
other people had the same problem.
We're uploading a bunch of shit.
I didn't even upload that many. It was the first one I uploaded.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
There's probably something algorithm tag or something.
Never beer. Yeah. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
But either way, you're welcome.
All right.
I did say thank you.
Amityville.
Yeah. So
look at Jeremy just moving this shit along. He's just got it going on.
But how crazy is that when you really think about that, though? Because obviously and anybody who's listening to this, look at the article on 22 Shots that Jim from Toronto wrote, because it's really interesting because he actually goes into what is actually legally considered an Amityville film, because it was a question that kept coming up when he started going through the series. We're like, okay, well, where does the series start and end, the original series? And since anybody can make an Amityville film, and technically Amityville 2 is where it is unofficially an Amityville film.
Amityville 3 is an unofficial Amityville film?
Technically, no.
Why?
Because read the fucking article, dude.
I guarantee
Dave's not going to read the article.
You're telling me you never read the article?
Dave is not going to read this article because it's written by a Canadian. You don't like Canadians.
I like Canadians just fine.
No, so he basically goes on to say that whenever the first Amityville was done, another studio I think picked up Amityville 2. And they wanted to make an Amityville 2. And the original studio, it was like MGM and somebody else, De Laurentiis, and I forget what the article says, but they sued them and it went to court. And the court ruled that although it's called Amityville 2, they don't mention the Lutzes or anything like that. So it's kind of, they can do whatever they want because Amityville is Amityville. I forget exactly what it says in the thing, but basically none of them
are sequels.
Are official.
Yeah,
right.
and
so none of them are.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3 are released by MGM at least.
Right. So I think they eventually became into the same hands or whatever. But the way that I count it is like one.
So Amityville was never copyrighted, or so it was copyrighted.
You can't copyright Amityville as in like the house. You can't copyright the house, but you can copyright Amityville 4, I think, right? But you can't copyright the actual house because you don't own ownership on the house. So anybody can make anything.
No. I'm talking about just the name. itself, because you're selling your product by the Amityville name, which would be the copyright, right? So you could go out of your way and do that because it's not the physical house or whatever. I get that.
I think it was Amityville 3 rated PG. I never knew that.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that. It's a very interesting thing because they just keep coming out from every which angle now. 28.
Okay, I'll just read it because it's pretty short. It's not that long. Okay, this was about after he reviewed the Amityville Playhouse in 2015. He says, as I continue to review the series, it's always interesting to do research on some of the background information. The question of the sequels and the name itself keeps coming up, so I decided to look into it and find out exactly what's up with the whole naming thing. The Lutz and the author of the book, Jay Anson, co-owned the rights to the name The Amityville Horror. So, again, like Moods was saying, The Amityville Horror. This is why we don't have any more films with that exact title. They granted the naming rights to Professional Films, Inc. for the purpose of making the first film. When Orion Pictures and producer Dino De Laurentiis made Amityville 2 The Possession and Amityville 3D, the Lutzes and Anson took them to court. Ultimately, the Lutzes and Anson lost the case, mainly because Orion and De Laurentiis didn't use the Amityville Horror 2.
Yeah, because it was copyrighted. Yeah.
as titles which would have been copyright infringement, and also even their promotional material for the second film stated clearly that this is not a sequel to the Amityville Horror.
Well, theoretically, narrative-wise, it's actually a prequel.
Fair, very fair loophole there.
Right?
The secondary name Amityville was not exclusive to Lutz and Anson, and thus not protected, and this is why all the sequels, in quotes, films that have the title Amityville in them, the only problem that remains is the name The Amityville Horror. References to the Lutzes, so we could never have their names appear in subsequent films, stating that any future Amityville films and direct sequel to the first and the numerical sequels, i.e. Amityville Horror 2, 3, etc. As a matter of fact, the court decision stated that anyone, including Orion and De Laurentiis, could make more pictures about fictional events in the set in the Amityville house. Yeah,
so this all makes sense.
About real events set in the Amityville house before the Lutzes moved in, but they could not be identified or promoted in the sequels to the first picture. So technically, all the films after the first one are not sequels. They're just relatives.
Yeah, they're all relative. And the point is that you can make an Amityville film with the Amityville name. You just can't have Amityville Horror in the title.
Or the Lutzes.
You can't have the Lutzes
and the Lutzes.
But you can have the Lutzes in it.
Yeah, you can have the Lutzes for sure. Yeah, and hence why there's 28. But even with that being said, though, the fact that
28 is a lot.
That's exactly where I was going with this, Jeremy. 28 overall Amityville in the same kind of world, the Amityville name. That's a fucking crazy franchise, dude.
It's not a real franchise.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, franchise world. I mean, Amityville are films that share the same name as Amityville.
Do you have Amityville Vibrator in there? It's like, is that in the same world as...
He reviewed it.
Putting Alien 2 in there.
He reviewed
Alien 2, the fucking thing. Remember the movie Alien 2, the Italian movie that's like throwing that in the Alien franchise?
You know what? I actually pulled it out last night. I was going to watch it after I watched Contamination. I shit you not, but I ended up watching something different, so it's funny.
You stared at the wall for an hour and a half instead.
No, it's fun, man.
But honestly, dude, like, I think it's so cool. I think it's cool that there's like a million of these
funny
movies. You know what I mean?
It's funny, but I'd never watch any of them after.
If we ever actually did the franchise,
I've seen a few
we
of the
would
later
do
ones.
1, 2, 3, 4 up until
the remake.
I want to say the
2013 one.
We would do the remake and then the 2018 one.
So if we did right up to
the 2 box sets and then Curse and then the remake and then the Awakening.
The Awakening,
right?
That's
and then anything after that would be, and we call that the Amityville franchise Volume 1. And then anything after that we would do in like 3s or something.
No, come on.
Come on, dude. We need to populate the Hall of Pain. People
we
were
don't need that many more shows, dude. We don't have. We're not restricted on ideas for shows.
What's that?
We're not restricted on ideas for shows here, man. We don't need to fucking do 30 Amityville shows, man. That's just insane.
We would be the only people to ever do it. I'm just saying.
It's valid. It's valid.
Hall of Pain would I mean, Hall of Pain is feeling lonely right now. Everybody's mad that last week we didn't have any Hall of Painters, and they swore we were going to.
I swear to God, that was the only comment that we got. Oh man, so many Hall of Painters this week, and I'm like, you guys wait till you listen to the show.
All three are gonna make it.
These guys never watch shit like Beware the Children. And I'm not talking about Children at Play or
Dude,
Beware Children at Play.
I really do not get it.
Children.
Yes, Dracula 3D is not the greatest movie ever made. Is it the worst? Fuck no. Dude, it has bad CG in it. The rest of the movie is not that bad.
And the CGI is so bad, it's almost comedic.
Yeah.
I like the
At least it has some production value. I mean, it's a decent looking film, right? It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not some of the shit that's usually making the Hall of Pain at all.
Right. Okay, moving on here. The Wolf of Snow Hollow comes out December 15th on Blu-ray and DVD. I know I think 3 of you guys have seen that.
Yep.
I think I might actually buy that. Might be one of my very few 2020. Who the fuck is barking?
Not me.
That's me. I was trying to unmute so I could say I love Wolf Snow Hollow, but my dogs also said they love Wolf Snow Hollow.
Actually, it's kind of good timing.
It's kind of cool.
It actually adds to... Yeah. Actually, it might be one of the few films I buy from this year. I actually really enjoyed that one. It was fucking good, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Dave, did you watch it yet?
Yeah, I loved it.
Fuck. I'm the only one.
I saw it in theaters, bro.
It's a cheap Blu-ray.
I'm going to go see that freaky movie tomorrow Sunday.
I wanted to. I don't know if I'll have time.
Looks like
I'm really
trash.
looking forward to...
it looks
but
bad.
Jeremy's, of course, blown it because it got good reviews.
I'm not blowing it. I'm just saying, how can a movie be trash if it gets good reviews?
Because fucking sometimes the critics are dumb. We know this. I mean,
It depends on the critics, right?
I mean, this has been known forever that like you can't believe mainstream critics
because
they're different than horror.
Bloody Disgustings.
But wait.
No.
Has there ever been like a horror movie that had all mainstream like critics give it great reviews and then it sucked? Usually they'll hate it and then we'll like it. Usually, very rarely is it.
I've seen it happen before where they're like blowing some.
I don't trust Bloody Disgusting reviews though, man.
Right? Like Happy Death Day got tons of great reviews.
Yeah, that was divided.
90%.
It Comes at Night got positive critic reviews and then like the audience hated it, but it was a very good movie.
I agree.
Whatever.
I don't know, dude. I'm not basing it on like anything other than my eyes. Like I saw it, it looked cringy as hell. It looked
I didn't
like
watch the trailer.
Happy Death Day got mainstream good reviews. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It has like a 70%.
Ooh, that's insane.
But that's come down. It was at like a fucking 90 for a long time.
Maybe I should go see Freaky.
I'm really surprised about that. I got no
I
interest.
don't judge a movie
This is
till
the
I see
same
it.
director.
Honestly, I'm with JP. It looks cringy.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Cringy as hell.
It does look
I try not
cringy.
to watch trailers.
I mean, I could.
No,
be
I didn't.
wrong.
I didn't watch the
could be
trailer
like, oh,
either. I
that's
just
really
kind of.
I know nothing about it except Vince Vaughn's in it, and it's a horror comedy.
But
it's
that's
like
what's cringy about it.
It literally looks like the hot chick with Rob Schneider.
But Vince Vaughn
Rob Schneider
in a comedic horror movie
Stabler.
has got to be the worst setup in the world. That guy is so not fucking funny. He's not fucking funny.
It's like a teen girl like swaps bodies with Vince Vaughn, who's a serial killer.
Yeah,
It's
that's like
poor
a common,
Freaky
like,
Friday
thing in movies. Yeah, Freaky Friday. That's
like a Freaky Friday. It's what's
but it's called Freaky.
Yeah.
It's
basically
literally the
Happy
same
Death Day.
storyline, except for they made it into kind of a horror element. But really, Vince Vaughn.
It looks like it is the same tone as Happy Death Day too.
It's rated R. That's all I'm going
Vince Vaughn
to
is
say.
fine.
This
Maybe
is the
it'll
type
have
of
good kills.
No, Vince Vaughn is great in non-comedic roles. He's not fucking funny.
He just plays himself, I think, when he's in comedic roles.
He was a great Norman
That goes
Bates.
back to my point of him not being funny. Then
I don't mind him. I don't watch any of his new comedies.
You don't
but,
mind
like,
his Norman Bates performance? That's cool.
No, that's not very good.
Okay, so dude, I would never want to play Anthony Perkins.
I wouldn't
ever.
do it. I'd say no, man. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Dude, they could offer me like fucking a shit ton of money. I'd be like, pass.
I would do
Because I'm
it.
gonna get made fun of for such a long time if I do it.
have you guys ever seen like a bunch of other Anthony Perkins films that aren't Psycho movies?
Yeah, like Crimes and Passion, Edge of Insanity. Yeah, he's great, man.
He's a fucking great actor, man. Like
really
he's
fucking
just
is,
legitimately amazing. Like I can't. It's slipping my mind right now. But he did a film with Charles Bronson.
Oh, that's Someone Behind the Door.
Yeah, dude.
I've not seen it. Is it good?
It's so good, man. They're just, really two fucking screen legends in the same movie in like a totally odd narrative. It's really good.
I have to watch. I have the Blu-ray. I love Charles Bronson's one of my top 10 favorite actors of all time. So.
Me too. Yeah, the Kino Blu-ray. I picked it up because it was Perkins and fucking Bronson.
Yeah,
you can't really go wrong
with that cast,
right?
You never think you'd see those guys in a movie together. Like you see some cast, you're like Bronson and Perkins. I don't even like
Gene Wilder, and
especially for that time though. Like the time that they did this movie is like these guys were. It's just so weird. Different ends of the spectrum that came together.
Same with Wilder and Pryor, they made like 4 movies together. Yeah. It's crazy.
But that was like a one time, and then they made amazing like chemistry, so they just kept putting them together.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool that those two guys had that type of chemistry, which is I agree with Jeremy because it's very highly unlikely. Like Willy Wonka to fucking Richard Pryor. Like I don't. It's so strange, man. But they did some great movies. Man.
See no evil, hear no evil.
That's hilarious. One of the greatest premises, man. One guy can't see, and the other one can't hear.
Fucking hilarious.
I've seen that one.
So fucking funny, dude.
Stir Crazy is good too.
Yeah,
Stir Crazy. I really like that one. Okay, so yeah, that's coming out on the 15th. I think it's available to rent for now. And then the last bit of news here is I was actually very surprised because I figured they would have announced it a little bit earlier, but very happy. Shudder continuing with the holiday specials from Joe Bob. It's something at this point that's like annual. Like they didn't do a Thanksgiving one, but they did a Christmas one last year. Like I think this is the 3rd Christmas one now. Joe Bob Saves Christmas this time it's called, and that'll be on the 11th. Do we have a show on that day?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's a listeners one, isn't it?
Not if we end up pushing Paranormal, then we could take an extra week. We could do it.
Yeah, we'll figure.
No,
that
it's
out.
episode 200.
Oh.
What? Wait a minute. But what's episode 199?
Paranormal Activity.
Okay, so if we bumped that, I don't know.
Whatever.
You're right. We'll figure it out. Either way. I have no idea what they're going to show, but I mean, I love the concept. One of my favorite things in life is holiday specials, and especially like horror ones, because it's so rare. So I just love that they're going to, have the set all did up in Christmas and stuff. It's fun to me.
Joe Bob's wearing a Santa hat for sure.
Yeah, Joe Bob's wearing a Santa hat. Darcy's wearing a sexy little elf costume.
Oh yeah.
I hope he has midgets on there too. That'd be awesome.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. It's Joe Bob, and dude,
it's little people. Okay?
Every time that Joe Bob is successful, it makes me so happy because I'm just kidding.
You know what I want for Christmas? Never hear that fucking story again.
To never hear that story again.
But the real reason why is because you don't always expect stuff like this to actually stuff that worked way back in the day that they like reboot and try again. Usually it might last for a season and be cool when people were into, but in that it actually did work and people love it it's amazing. I love it. I watched over the holiday over October. I watched his Blood Harvest one. Have you guys seen that?
No, not yet.
I don't have time for Joe Bob, but when I put him on, I love it. It's like the best.
Dude,
I honestly
we record during Joe Bob, and then after it's passed, I'm just like, eh.
So I love listening to him. Like I just want to listen to his segments because half the movies I saw already. But
right,
yeah, for sure.
Well, the Blood Harvest one is so interesting because obviously you guys know that movie is made with Tiny Tim, right?
Yeah, bonkers.
Yep.
So Joe Bob made the network TV premiere of that back in like the like early 90s on the drive-in theater, like before Monster Vision. He's like the world premiere of Blood Harvest, and he had a Tiny Tim expert on, and he was like, what did Tiny Tim think of Blood Harvest? And he's like, well, Joe Bob, I brought a very special clip. And he shows Joe Bob a clip of Tiny Tim watching Joe Bob watch Blood Harvest. So Joe Bob is watching Tiny Tim watch Joe Bob. It was like mind blowing, and the clip had never been out there before, as far as I know. So it was like one of the coolest damn things ever.
That is
this
actually really cool.
Moment where
Joe Bob get a kick out of it.
Dude, he thought it was so cool. He's like, this is crazy, you know, because Joe Bob hosted that movie back in the early 90s. Tiny Tim's watching it, and now Joe Bob is hosting the movie again like 30 years later, and he's watching Tiny Tim react to Joe Bob's original airing. It's just it's kind of insane.
Pretty crazy. I love how Joe Bob says 90s. He's like early 90s. He has like a special way to say it.
Yeah, and he just comes up with like the greatest things to rant about. Like his opening monologue on that one was about leggings, and it was hilarious. It was so funny.
I love his rant about the LA train station. He's like, you can't take the LA train station. It doesn't work. What are you talking about? It doesn't work.
Yeah,
he's a genius, man.
He's so funny. He's so funny.
Yeah, I love him.
So that is this December. Last time, what did they do? They did a really fun one last time. They did Jack Frost, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, and I think Black Christmas.
Which one? Old school?
Yeah, of course. So, and of course, the first year they did Phantasm 1 through 4.
It's such a weird lineup. Like Jack Frost, yeah, it's so fucking terrible. It's amazing.
Jack Frost is so bad, but so good at the same time.
I remember when we reviewed that. Remember when we reviewed that film and they were like, we were joking about like, what the fuck was the goddamn budget on this movie, man? It had to have been like $10,000. It turns out it was like $150,000. We're like, or $100,000. We're like, where the fuck did all the money go? And then he answered, like the director told us. He fucking told us
he spent like $100,000 on the snowman.
Yeah, and we're like, what the fuck? It was the craziest eye opener. We're like, what the hell? Yeah, that was
What's
so
the
crazy.
difference between snowmen and snow women?
Tits.
Wait,
snowballs, guys. It's the joke in the movie. Snowballs.
Yeah. And then Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Brandon stole
Again, it's become a cult classic because it is literally so bad. It's amazing. I mean, come on. And then we go into like a bona fide classic. That's a great lineup. I like it.
Yeah.
Want to talk some 4K announcements?
Yeah, go ahead.
Django and Texas Adios is coming to 4K from
True Underground
Arrow.
and Arrow finally came to an agreement on freaking Django.
Yep. So
yeah,
it's
Bill
coming
Lustig. Well, you set him straight.
It's coming to 4K. And then
I like how Jeremy took over the 4K announcements because like this guy is just straight 4K.
Then from Germany, we have The Frighteners from 1996 coming to 4K. From Turbine, we have...
That I actually might go out of my way to purchase. Because
that's actually coming from Arrow, too, though.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie in 96.
And then we have Hellraiser coming from 4K from Turbine as well. And then
from 4K? Is that
coming to 4K from Turbine. And then lastly, we have An American Werewolf in Paris coming to 4K.
What the fuck?
Why?
These German companies are fucking weirdos, man.
Why put that on 4K? Nobody wants to see that bad CG in 4K. Like that's
nobody wants to see it in Blu-ray.
Yeah, you're right.
And Leatherface is coming to 4K.
Leatherface what?
Leatherface.
Which one? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface, or are we talking Leatherface the prequel?
The prequel.
Okay, you got to specify because when you say Leatherface,
Turbine, the same company.
I'm not buying any. I don't even trust their.
I like how Jeremy pays no attention to any releases unless they're 4Ks. That's just, I love this. He steps right out of the closet to let us know about the 4Ks. I love it.
I love the 4Ks.
Thank you for stepping out the closet.
The 4Ks were so cheap. They're going to be so cheap everywhere. Like they're like $10.
You know, I am pretty excited.
PS5, man, going to change the game.
I'm pretty excited that that Django, that whole Django thing got worked out and stuff because Django is a film you need in 4K. You definitely do. It's amazing.
It's pretty classic. Corbucci.
It's amazing. Oh, Corbucci. I mean, if you ever want to watch a spaghetti western and you're not sure what to watch, look for shit that was directed by Corbucci. And then you're all good.
We need to do a Django franchise.
Dude.
There's so many of those, dude.
There's like 80 unofficial Django movies.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's about 30 or 40 with actual releases. It's nuts. So
that's it for the 4 gays.
again, politically very correct.
Yep.
Sure. You got anything, JP?
What? No, that was it.
Oh,
Where the fuck's Jerry? He hasn't said anything in like an hour. Hello?
Jerry.
Patient Dr. Retard, hello? Hello?
He's not on this call.
Okay, so that is going to do it for the news. Yeah.
Fucking thing sucks!
22 shots. All right, so moving along here into a knowledge segment.
The word I bring to you today is knowledge reigns supreme. You got no time to joke and play, cause knowledge reigns supreme.
This week, of course, we are going to do a top 10 Luigi Cozzi top 10. But first, we're having some technical difficulties, which is very, very sad. And
Not for me. I think it's fucking awesome.
I think it's kind of sad, actually. And
it's the best news I've ever heard.
Jerry's modem actually just blew the fuck up on him in the middle of our show, and he will not be joining us the rest of the show, which is unfortunate because we did not get to the featured reviews, which is very unfortunate. So,
right.
We talk too much, and Jerry.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because Jerry did such a good job last year, and we only had him on that one other time, and it's been an entire year since then. So it's a little unfortunate, but hopefully we'll have him back on in the future. I mean, everything that I've done with him has turned out really good, and the one thing that we did on here with all of us turned out really good. So I'm sure we'll have him back, but unfortunate. But that happens sometimes, man. The Skype fucking internet world, that's why if the world was perfect, we'd all be sitting in the same room recording, and then we could actually punch Jeremy when he says something stupid.
My God, I would absolutely love to sit around a round table right now and record like you're doing radio with everyone in the same room. Because the best thing about recording in a studio when you can see everyone is you can cue each other.
And when to not talk and when
exactly. You can watch people, especially with us. We would get to know each other so well that when someone's going to stop talking. Well, maybe not Jeremy, because he just kind of blurts out random shit all the time and stuff, and it's very random and sporadic. But you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, Jerry's not going to be here anymore for the show. And
he says he's Goozy.
It's unfortunate because I really wanted to
me cozy though.
I did want.
He says me cozy
because I didn't know anything. I didn't hear anything about his opinions on the cozy films that we were going to be reviewing. So it was interesting because they're kind of a mixed bag, really, right?
Yeah.
So, but okay.
I think they're. What do you mean by mixed bag? You mean in terms of quality or terms of story?
Well, I mean quality and story. It's covering a wide range of time and energy and storylines and stuff. Yeah, they're all quite different.
That is what's cool is the 3 films that you picked. This is your pick, right?
Yeah.
You picked one from the mid 70s and then the early 80s and then the late 80s. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool.
That was actually by design.
His career is can literally see his entire career. Like he's a journeyman director, right? So you can see him like having to do all the movies that were being made at the time. He's like, I got to do a Giallo. Now I got to do a zombie alien ripoff. Now I got to do fucking
a shitty movie.
Yeah, off shit, fucking ridiculous movie like the late 80s, early 90s Italian ones. He literally, I feel like, had no choice in what he made. He was a journeyman, man. And unlike Martino, who's like the best journeyman director Italy ever produced, or Fulci, some people would say Fulci's a journeyman. I would probably say not. He just kind of fell a little short.
Actually, technically Fulci was, because Fulci didn't actually have a lot of street cred, man, back in those early times. That's why he was doing spaghetti westerns, comedies, horror.
They all did that though. Yeah, except Dario, really.
Well, that was studio influence though. Studios had the final say in what these guys were doing and stuff. I mean, we'll get into
the American market too. American market comparison.
Yeah,
so we'll they all had their streaks.
Yeah, Contamination was a direct product of Alien being popular.
Even when I looked through Cozzi's filmography, and I haven't seen nearly as much of this stuff, but I'm just like, all like every movie that I'm seeing here is like a ripoff of
dude, he had
something
no
that was
choice.
popular.
But you got to remember though, man, like I took the time, I finished Contamination last night, and I actually watched a special feature on the Arrow Blu-ray, which I'd never watched before, and it was something to do with something to do with flattery, and I don't know what the fuck it was called. I wish I could remember the title of the special feature. But anyways, it was about Italian ripoffs. And they were talking.
I've watched that.
Yeah,
before.
so
I think I probably watched it too.
So they went through, kind of the history of Italian films, and like how and why these Italian films were made and stuff. And it was, banking on American blockbusters and stuff. It's like if Alien came out, there had to have been 10 fucking ripoffs coming out right away and stuff like that. It's actually quite interesting to go through that history and stuff. But yeah, Luigi Cozzi was one of those guys that was, he was one of those studio directors that was, I wouldn't say a victim to, the studio saying, here's what we're doing. But he was that guy though. They were like, they come up with these ideas and this is what we're doing kind of thing. Right. So,
well, yeah, like eventually a lot of these guys did find them. Like Fulci found himself in the horror movies after he hit like Zombie. That was pretty much his thing.
Well, the difference with Fulci is that his movies became internationally known even back in those days. So he got a little bit more street cred, and they were like, okay, well, we'll allow you to do some more things. Where Cozzi's films were not really doing much on that level. They were making money in Italy.
Wasn't a hit in the States.
Well, that's the thing, right? Even if you were hitting in Italy, which a lot of these films were, people seem to not realize that like Contamination shit did really well in Italy, but over in in America they were being mostly banned. Like some of these films weren't even being played over there because they were just blatant ripoffs.
In UK it was being
in
banned.
the UK, yeah. Here they just weren't getting.
No. I'm not talking about banned through the rating system and stuff. Like I mean, look at Great White, Last Shark. That was it was theoretically banned from theaters in when it came out.
Yeah, but wasn't that because it had footage of Jaws in it?
No, it was just a blatant ripoff.
Yeah.
It had no footage of the film. We're not talking about Bruno Mattei's film that blatantly used other footage and stuff from these films. I'm talking it was just such a blatant ripoff that they actually pulled it from theaters, and then they even explained in the special features too. It's kind of funny that a few years ago, it would have been in the 2013-14 era or whatever, there was supposed to be doing a double feature, a Coscarelli double feature or whatever, and they just completely fucking
Castellari.
Yeah, and they basically had a cease and arrest on the theater if they were going to show that film because they still have the memory for it. It's like America's like, no, you can't play that shit. You can't play Jaws ripoffs like that. So,
and that was Shout Factory's going to put out Cruel Jaws, and then they backed out.
Which to this day, I'm still fucking baffled that Severin actually got. I don't even want to say the rights to put this out, but they did put it out.
Clearance.
There's no difference in the film at all here, and we know that movie is still technically not allowed to be shown. I don't know what the story is, how Severin was able to do it.
Footage of Last Shark in it too, so it's just like, how the fuck can they release that and not the Last Shark?
That's my point. Mm-hmm. That's my point, right? I mean, if you're gonna have a cease and arrest on the to the theater that's going to show this double feature, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And this is like all these years later after this shit came out. It's fucking bizarre. So, anyways, top 10 Luigi Cozzi.
10.
All right,
Where is this list coming from?
This is actually coming straight from IMDb. There was no website that had done a list, which didn't really surprise me.
Right.
It's
I
Luigi
didn't even know
Cozzi.
he made 10 movies.
They're not all horror.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. We'll start at the bottom of number 10.
Let's do it.
Number 10 is actually it's actually a recent film. It's a recent film that he's done, and this is actually done after the special features that came out on the Arrow Blu-ray for Contamination, because they were actually
Lumez film, right?
Yeah, he even talked about possibly coming back because if Italian horror was Italian filmmakers were going to start making horror films again, he'd get interested and he'd actually come up with something. But he did a film called Blood on Millennium's Moon. I don't know. It's fantasy horror mystery from 2016.
It's about
Blood
a
on
trip to the
moon.
It's about a trip to the moon, which is the first.
I highly
really
doubt
popular
that it
film.
should be 2 hours and 5 minutes.
It's a take on that weird Trip to the Moon movie, that black and white, that's strange.
The first really popular movie.
So they're not only just ripping off, recent movies, they're ripping off movies that are like 100 and something years old.
I bet it's like a love letter to it or something, but I don't understand how it is. How long is it?
2 hours,
125 minutes, man. Yeah,
that's outrageous.
Yeah,
I know. I like as soon as I saw that runtime, it was instantly off-putting.
And it's cheap too. and you know it's cheap.
But you got to give him credit though, man. Like, I mean, Luigi Cozzi is the guy that runs the Profondo Razzo story in Italy.
Yeah.
In Rome and stuff.
Dario's
That's kind of what,
store.
yeah, Dario's store. That's what he does there. He's still kind of his protege, I guess, right? But he, in the special features,
my store.
He even said he's like, yo, man, if Italians start making horror films, will come back, which is really cool because he obviously got the fucking kick, to do it again. So I respect that, man, for not making a movie because Paganini Horror was his last film. I know, Jeremy. Okay, there's a reason for it, right? And that's pretty cool. 2016, that one came out. I would actually like to check it out just to see what his later work actually looks like. But
he was also in that awful Violent Shit remake.
As an actor?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Was he really? Oh god.
Yeah,
damn.
him and another Italian director. I think it was like Castellari, one of the older guys who passed away. I think. Oh my god.
Okay. Coming in at number 9 is actually one that I've always known about, always wanted to see it. Severin just dropped the Blu-ray, and it's called The Black Cat.
Not bad.
So
Jeremy would hate it. Very similar to Paganini Horror.
In your opinion, similar to Paganini. Okay, I already know where this is going then. So Fulci's Black Cat. Fulci's Black Cat versus this one.
Fulci's.
Yeah, Fulci's Black Cat.
Fulci's got Patrick Mckee in it. Or no, Magny.
But it's actually pretty goddamn good, man.
And it's got Warbeck in it too.
Yeah, dude, David Warbeck. Okay, so number 8, Paganini Horror. We'll get into that more.
I'd switch Black Cat.
Yeah.
I think it's better. Yeah. It's also the third Mother's movie, kind of.
Right. Okay. Number 7 is Hercules, 1983, which, oh my God, dude, have you guys ever seen this one with Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Sybil Danning? Oh, man.
Wait, Lou Ferrigno's in it?
Yeah, and the Hercules? Oh my God, man, this movie is so bad. It's amazing.
I kind of want to watch it. I would love to do like a little swords and sandals show one day.
It would be so much fun, man. You could do Conquest from Fulci. That shit's amazing.
Beastmaster, new 4K coming out.
We just Sword and the Sorcerer.
I actually
There's
really
so many
have always
options.
like sword and sandals type movies, but I haven't seen a ton.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever
them.
seen Fulci's The Conquest?
Conquest is pretty good.
No, I haven't, but I heard it's pretty solid.
I keep hearing from everybody. Everyone's like, man, the fucking transfer on the new Ronin Blu-ray is fucking garbage. I'm like, man, that movie was filmed with that crazy nightmare fucking atmosphere. So like,
it's just all fog.
It is, man. The whole movie's actually done like that. It's crazy. It has the most insane atmosphere for a non-horror movie I've ever seen.
It's just Vaseline. Dude, the whole movie's just Vaseline on this fucking lens.
But the crazy thing about
why isn't it focusing? Too much Vaseline.
Right. It's fucking Fulci. So it has like super gore in it too. It's awesome. But yeah, Hercules 83. Oh my God. Check it out if you've never seen it. It's ridiculous. Number 6, Contamination. 1980. With Ian McCulloch, man. We'll get into that. 1978 Star Crash at number 5. I'm sure some people have seen it. Dave, you've seen it before, right?
No. I heard Joe Spinell was dubbed, and I was like, I don't want to watch Joe Spinell dubbed. I haven't, though.
You've never seen Star Crash, man? Oh, with Carolyn Monroe?
I haven't heard good things.
David Hasselhoff? Oh, man. Crazy
Hasselhoff's
ripoff.
in it?
Yeah. It's Carolyn Monroe is amazing. So, of course, from Maniac fame. We'll get into her more, actually, when we talk about Contamination. Number 4 is the Godzilla Eurotrash version, which Jerry was actually alluding to earlier. I'm not sure if it was part of the show or if it was pregame or whatnot. I'm not sure.
Now, is that like a real Godzilla movie?
No, it's his version of it. He kind of he did something with the film and then colorized it, and yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it before. Don't know.
But it's actually Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's like
It's just the old one, and then he just probably cut in a bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see it.
Okay, number 3 is a film called Take All of Me, 1976. Apparently, it's like a drama romance. I really don't have any interest.
That's never happened to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in seeing that. When I saw drama romance, I was like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, and we did 76, and that never came up.
Yeah. So number 2 is, oddly enough, some random comedy did called La Portiera Nuda, and I'm assuming that's very sleazy because it has...
You don't know that one? You never seen La Portiera Nuda?
Oh, shut up. Nobody has.
It's also from 1976. And number 1 is The Killer Must Kill Again.
That's number 1?
I guess.
Yeah.
Where was Contamination?
I said number 6. Good memory, JP or
You
Jeremy.
should listen.
Yeah, so a very, very odd list for Luigi Cozzi.
Who made this top 10 list? Give us his name.
It was by...
Oh, it's Luigi Cozzi.
Cozzi.
It's John Tobacco.
Not my movies.
John Tobacco. And he made this in 2017, so obviously it's relatively newer because he has the newest Cozzi film in there. Well, not newest. I think he actually did one since then.
What are some of his favorite movies?
It's fucking IMDb, dude.
You can click and see what his top rating is if you wanted to.
Can you?
Do you just click John Backham? Most recently no, I don't know.
Okay, it's not worth it.
Well, he's got Amityville 3D rated as 5 on here.
Out of 10?
I would
Sounds
assume.
about right.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
That's interesting. So, I mean, really, couldn't really do a second Cozzi, right? I mean, Black Cat can, not really, right?
What you can do, you could stretch this. You could do the Black Cat, and the one thing that wasn't on this list was the episode that he did called The Neighbor, which was part of the Door in the Darkness series at Argento that I talked about last week.
And his documentary, The World of Horror.
Yes, that's right, which he did in the early 90s, right?
Yeah, about Dario Argento.
Yeah, about Argento. And then, I mean, you could stretch it with Star Crash. I mean, it's sci-fi.
You got to do Bavas and Fulci's before you do Cozzi too.
No, we're not doing Cozzi too.
I'm just saying.
There's so many more directors.
Whenever we do a director that they only made like 4 films, like Suave, I'm kind of like, okay, so we're done with them, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody asked us, will we run out?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think?
No.
We'll always have 3 films.
Dude, there's so many. I mean, there's more. We can go back to classic directors like Bava and Fulci, but then, I mean, we haven't done guys like Antonio Margheriti, which I've actually was going to pick a couple different times. I went with different guys, but he's got so many great films.
Right.
And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, there's other guys.
When you think about it, we have done quite a few, right?
I mean, there's Martino. I mean, Martino did fucking, I think, has a better run of giallos than fucking Argento, which is crazy. He did
at least 6 good giallos.
God, man, I think he might even be the giallo fucking king, man. It's crazy. So there's options.
Which year is this? Is this our? It's our 6th
year.
Argento.
Yeah.
See, that's why I also like to always do Argento, because next year I'm not going to remember, because I'm not going to be able to reference Argento. Oh, it's Argento 7. That means it's our 7th year. So now I'm going to be like, what year is it again? Well, last year we did Argento 6, so that would make it 1 and 2 minus 1 would be 7. But when you think about it, right? Three films per person, and then we do 4 of those. That's 12 movies a year.
Sometimes
times 6 is like 72. Plus, there was a one where we did 5 that year, so that would have been another 3. So,
which the longer the show goes on for, we're gonna hit another. We're gonna hit another Italian month with 5 weeks.
Right. Yeah. And you know what's crazy is I was thinking about taking all the Argento segments from the 6 years and the 2 Masters of Horror and editing them into one episode and just putting that up for random people that might find it,
Yeah, so you shoot a new intro though. Just shoot a new intro.
We could shoot a new intro and be like, this is from our 6-year history of covering Argento films.
Here's 20. Oh, and then we actually to sell that even more. So that would be 20 reviews right there. And then we could do the tram.
Or you can add 2 new reviews.
Oh yeah, add 2 new ones. Yeah, we could do.
We could do the tram and then his Black Cat episode. So which would be 22. So you would edit together, put the 2 new ones in there. There you go. There's a selling point. It's like re-releasing an album with a couple bonus tracks.
A couple new songs.
Yeah.
Charlie Band Jr. strikes again.
Oh yeah.
look how our mentality is now, right?
Yeah, and then we charge everybody fucking money to listen to it for the fucking.
It's like Total Recall.
And then you tell everybody you found these reviews. We found these reviews in a warehouse.
You know what, guys?
On an old hard drive.
Found a warehouse full of 2 reviews.
Yeah, these are OG reviews.
we found my bloody
8 years ago.
We found My Bloody Valentine on a corrupted hard drive.
Right. Yeah.
That would be amazing to find, though. Fuck.
Yeah, but no, that's pretty funny because you know the it's interesting. You know, 72 film after this year, 72 plus another 3 total Italian horror films. I mean, think about that, right? That when I started this, I'd seen like 2 Italian horror films, and now
you're a seasoned veteran.
I'm becoming a seasoned veteran. Yeah, Jeremy skipped out on a lot of shows, so he's still a little noob. But yeah. And plus, I've
seen a bunch I haven't seen because of that. Like some of those other directors you guys did were a little obscure.
Yeah, well, that's true. And honestly, I've watched just others on my own too. You know,
it's gotten to the point I can't even remember what we've done. Like even Fulci was. I know we did the Gates of Hell trilogy, but I don't remember. I know we did. I don't even remember what movies we did. It's fucked up.
For what? Fulci?
We did 2 Fulcis, right?
Right. Yeah, we did the Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
Which is the easy one, and then we did Zombie, New York Ripper, and
Don't Torture a Duckling.
No, Cat o' Nine Tails, or not Cat, Cat in the Brain, which was a
Cat in the Brain. That's right. Don't Torture a Duckling was just 72 talk.
But you know what was hilarious is whenever you weren't here because you were taking a hiatus modes, but it was literally like one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. We were we were talking about what our Italian horror pick was going to be, and Jeremy was like, okay, I think I'm going to go with Renato Policelli, and I'm going to pick The Vampire and the Ballerina, Delirium, and Black Magic Rites. And we
literally just did that.
What?
I just literally texted him. I was like, are you dumb? Because we literally did it last year, and it was those exact same 3 films.
How do you forget the entire show? I could see.
I wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but he's like, yeah, I think I'm good. Because Jeremy always tries to pick some weirdo that has
right.
And he's like, I'm like, I think I'm gonna go with Renato Policelli, and I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And then when I saw The Vampire and the Ballerina, I was like, oh, we definitely did that. I remember that title. And then
I like that show, man. That was a fun show, man. Actually, I really liked The Vampire.
That one was a big surprise because I really liked those films. Those films were really interesting.
I filled in for somebody.
Who did you fill in for?
Me.
Oh yeah.
You had a guest though too. They fell out.
Did we?
I think so. Yeah. We definitely had some falling outs there.
Was it Brandon?
Yeah, I think so. Those were all good shows though. Those are all decent movies, and I hadn't seen any.
It was Brandon. Yeah.
I dug Delirium was the best of the bunch.
Yeah, and that was 72.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one was cool, man. I liked that. Yeah, Delirium was dope. Yeah, I remember enjoying that show.
Yeah, it's such a weird film.
Yeah, that one was a fun one. Definitely probably one of my favorites that we had done that year. Was last year when we did 5? Yeah, last year was when we did 5, right, for the 5th year. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it did him, Argento, Aldo. Bruno Mattei, did you? And you did Aldo Lotto.
And Ricardo Ferreira.
You was the one lizard and what's a fucking Ricardo Ferreira? Iguana with the tongue of fire?
No.
For Ferreira? You didn't do that Ricardo Ferreira one?
No, we did the Horrible Dr. Hitchcock, Tragic Ceremony, and for some reason it's not on here.
That was the one Jerry was on.
Yeah.
The Ricardo Ferreira. Aldo Lotto?
Yeah, you did him. I said that.
Yeah, I missed the Aldo Lotto.
Bruno Mattei. I know Bruno Mattei was the last one we did with Derek. Which makes sense.
Which one did he pick again?
It was Hell Living Dead, Rats, and
Shocking Dark.
Shocking Dark. That's what it was.
Shocking Dark's so awful.
I mean, we actually could do a bunch more Bruno Matteis. I mean, Bruno Mattei has a lot of films that we could do.
Yeah, those zombie ones are ridiculous.
Oh, the later one.
I don't know what I'm gonna pick next year.
I mean, you did mention Antonio Margaretti. I mean, if you look into his shit, I mean, if you're gonna pick him, man, yeah, just do your research because there's some really good films. The Long Hair of Death is one film that actually I pulled out last night to watch. 2, it's sitting on my table, and I'm probably going to watch it again, but it's fantastic. Good shit.
Naked You Die is fun.
Yeah, Naked You Die is a really good one. That was released by... Didn't Dark Sky release that DVD?
Yeah.
I got that DVD. Mark Reddy, you dig into his crates, man.
I really like Cannibal Apocalypse, and that's kind of what I was looking at his filmography, and I was like, why haven't we considered this dude?
That's one of my all-time favorite movies. All his Vietnam War ones are cool. He did 4 Vietnam Italian movies. That's the only war one, though.
Margaretti was another journeyman, man. He worked in fucking sci-fi, horror. He did everything too, man.
Tiger Joe and The Last Tornado. That's all 4. I've seen all 4 of them. They're all really good.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Exotic?
No, Tiger Joe.
Honestly, man, Margaretti might be one of the most underrated ones.
Warbeck's in 2 of them.
All right, well...
All right, so I guess that's going to conclude. I forgot what segment we were in here, man, but that's going to be a quick little knowledge segment. Yeah.
For those listeners who didn't feel that, we just had another one, baby.
And now, our feature presentation.
Yo, who this?
Yo, Moods, it's your boy, the ill-mannered Funky Child, calling you to remind you that the featured reviews on this episode contain spoilers.
Aw, yeah, man, that's right, brother. Thanks for the heads up, playa. Now go back to being an unproductive asshole.
Fuck you. I tell your listeners to stop being so dumb, silly, sensitive.
Yeah. Alrighty, so moving into the featured reviews here on episode 196, Luigi Cozzi. Director's Spotlight. Yeah, week 2 here on Italian Horror Month, courtesy of the 22 Shots crew. Alright, so first up here is a film from 1975 called The Killer Must Kill Again. Yes. This is actually a film I'd never seen before, so I was very, very happy to check this one out finally. Yeah, I mean, I know that Mondo Macabre released this on DVD years ago, went out of print, and I missed it, never seen it, so yeah. Never seen it.
First time watch for everybody.
I think it was I thought it was the first time watch for me, but when I put it in, I kind of was vaguely familiar with it, and I don't know if I'd because I had the DVD. I don't know when I got the DVD, probably 15 years ago. I think I might have watched it, but I couldn't remember every detail. So I was like, did I half watch this or some shit years ago? Because I remembered some of it though. I remember the beginning for sure.
Yeah,
this movie's weird. Oh, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, it was one of those movies that I was after forever and forever to grab the DVD, but that shit just, typical Mondo shit, man. Impossible to find for a good price.
I'm sure it's going to get a Blu-ray here eventually.
Yeah. I'm starting to think so, because remember we were just talking about this about a month and a half ago about Mondo not releasing their back catalog, and guess what happened?
The rights on a lot of that shit's going up, so.
Yeah, so it's good.
What were you going to say, Jeremy, about the movie?
Did you give a plot? Did you give a synopsis?
No, he didn't give a plot yet.
I was waiting for Jeremy to talk.
I was going to say something, but I forgot you didn't give the plot yet.
Okay, so getting into quick little synopsis here. Giorgio is a greedy adulterer who makes a deal with a serial killer to dispose of his wealthy wife, Nora. Unfortunately, a thrill-seeking young couple steals the killer's car with Nora's corpse in the trunk, ending up at a run-down Seville villa.
This sounds like it would be, 2 points. This sounds like a Hitchcock kind of story when you really think about it.
Right.
It sounds like something Hitchcock would do.
Yeah.
A dead person in the body, a dead person in the trunk.
All the suspense on somebody finding it. Yeah.
Well, it's like a Hitchcock movie without all the twists and turns and the
without
suspense.
The suspense.
It doesn't have the suspense at all. There's nothing there for suspense.
Well, it's weird. It's starts off like a very straightforward movie, and then the last 15 minutes, it turns into like a total like sleaze fest. And it's like a weird tonal shift.
It's actually an exploitation movie.
It's actually, dude,
never trust George Hilton. Never ever trust George Hilton in a movie. If you've ever seen any Sergio Martino movies, don't trust this guy. Don't ever trust him. He's always bad.
That's right. For a first time watch, man, I was actually expecting this to be a giallo.
Same.
This movie is not a giallo at all.
No.
No.
It's basically just a thriller. I mean, straight up thriller.
It's a thriller with like extra violence and graphicness at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's only really the one graphic kill, and I guess Cozzi said he wanted to make the one murder it's really bloody to make it, go over that edge. Because there's only really one violent murder in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is one of those films that I enjoyed. It's very unbalanced, though. I think it starts out really good. It's got a really good idea.
I think it starts out great. I was like super into the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
And then it gets completely derailed by just a long period of just not really anything happening.
See, the problem is with the middle of the film, and I agree, man. Like the beginning of the film has a really good setup. It's got this, just sleazy kind of fucking husband that wants to pay off his bills, dispose of the wife, get the money. I mean, we've seen the storyline before.
Because his wife's family is rich.
Exactly.
And it's actually kind of cool and creepy how he happens upon the guy, the serial killer dude who's like disposing of a body. It's kind of an interesting idea. Where like this guy's kind of unhappy and he gets this idea, I could pay this guy to get rid of my wife,
The problem is with that scene though. I mean, dude, if you're the fucking dude disposing of the body and you have some guy be like, "Hey, buddy, what's up, man?"
Yeah.
It's not totally like that.
Uh-huh.
But like honestly, this dude's just done, what he's doing, disposing of a body. If you're that killer, what are you doing? You're not having a conversation with this guy. You're going to kill this guy.
No, I feel like he just thinks it's like a normal thing to him. It feels like it. Like he does this all the time, so he's like, oh, whatever.
I don't know. I think he's just kind of like, okay,
But you don't know this guy from Adam, man. Like that's the thing. Like this guy's approaching you. You have to do something about it because he's a witness to this, right? You don't know how he's going to react after the fact, right?
It's nice to see that Cozzi's actually giving real serial killers jobs because the killer in this movie is definitely a real serial killer.
Best casting ever. Best casting ever.
He's amazing.
It is amazing.
Like
I agree.
Reggie Nader or some shit.
Oh my god, it's so good. So we get this really amazing start to the film, right? We get this, this confrontation between these two guys. They agree to this deal and stuff. The wife ends up getting killed. And then we get to the middle part of the film, which is basically starts with this couple that just randomly steals this car that has the body of his wife in the trunk. They don't randomly.
I mean, do they randomly steal it? I mean, he leaves it open
it randomly
outside.
has a body in it.
Well, no,
it's a random crime.
It's not like
they get her opportunity.
It is a random crime because they do say like, what kind of idiot leaves the keys in the but I mean, they only stole that car because the keys were in there, kind of thing. But so there's a mistake. But
it's funny the killer's just being taken advantage of, technically by everybody.
Everybody's fucking him. See. I think how you improve the boggy part of this film is as the killer can't get these people, he gets more and more pissed off and angry, and he starts fucking killing other random people along the way. That's how you fucking do this movie.
You can do that shit, but I think also the misstep in the film though is because the first quarter of the movie we have this police officer who's investigating the husband because we all know when a wife goes missing or winds up dead, who's the prime suspect is always the wife or always the husband, right?
Yeah.
So we have this setup here, but we get away from it for like 45 minutes. It never cuts back to that once until like the end of the film, which is kind of a misstep because we need a little bit more
investigation of the husband.
Yes, we need a little bit more into that,
doesn't it?
No, it goes back. Like it goes back that one time where
there's a portion about 40 minutes in the middle of the film where it never cuts back once at all. And
you might be right, but I know they cut back once before that.
Yeah, in the first half an hour of the film, and then there's about 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it is.
I expected them to cut back because I was actually interested in like the cop grilling the dude.
Well, because there's a point before it goes on that lull where the cop you can tell that he is
suspicious.
He's very
Yeah,
suspicious,
he
and his
knows.
number
He knows
one
something's
suspect is the husband, because he's leaning towards all these, all these parts of the evidence and stuff. It's like, this seems too good, and like it doesn't seem like there's points to leading that.
Yeah,
to
like
the husband.
why would this guy steal a car when it seems like it was planned out so much?
Yeah, there's no break-in, right? So she was let in because she knew,
let me ask
somebody.
You guys this.
Yeah.
Did you watch dubbed or subbed?
Dubbed.
It was dubbed. I watched the English version. Yeah.
I like the Italian dubbed.
Fuck.
Well,
I watched the English for all these.
Yeah, I always
watched
watch English
subbed.
for Italian movies.
Well, this movie actually, I think, was done in English too. So, I mean, the odd thing about, like, I mean,
I think the Italian was right though. I'm
we
pretty
t-
sure the Italian wasn't a dub.
we talked about this many times with Italian films. It's like, the way they shot these movies and stuff, like they're already dubbed. They're always dubbed, so it doesn't really fucking matter. I generally watch any type of foreign films in the their native language, because they're kind of done like that.
Yeah, but Italian films are like the one that
No, there's
doesn't
so
really
many
matter.
films that are Italian films that are shot in English, dubbed in Italian, and then dubbed over in English. So,
George Hilton speaks.
And half the time there's like people that like everybody's speaking their like sometimes everybody's speaking their own damn language, and then you got like 50 different fucking origins on there.
And
There's a couple little cool things about this movie. Did you notice what the initials on the lighter were?
MP, I don't know.
DA for Dario Argento.
Dario Argento.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why Cozzi did that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Cozzi, you're such a good friend.
Mckee.
Fucker stole my thunder on that one.
Earlier. He actually.
I got that written down. The Dario
the
Argento.
DA?
Yeah.
I heard it in the commentary. I was like, oh, that's very cool.
Oh, really? Shit, dude. I didn't hear the commentary.
And he
but
mentioned some other things in the commentary too. You guys were saying the killer wanted him to kill more people, but he said the killer throughout the movie, he's playing it. He doesn't really want to kill anybody. He doesn't have to, and he's actually getting pissed off when he has to, because he doesn't want to do anything he doesn't have to.
Well, that's the thing,
And that's
because he's a
why
hired
he
killer.
notices the
No,
body in the
no,
trunk.
he doesn't want to
No,
kill.
we never know that he loves to kill.
No,
He's a hitman.
he's a hired hitman. Hitmen only kill people that they're paid to kill, right?
But he does have a
Yeah,
sexual
but he's a
charge
hired
to it.
hitman
He
when
does have a
we.
charge. He does have a sexual charge to him because he grabs the woman's breast, which was the actor's idea, because he's a serial killer.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end, he does rape the girl, but even Cozzi said he tried to make him feel regretful afterwards, like he got caught up in it. But
Yeah, I don't like that.
And you know what?
Don't make your killer feel regretful for.
I've had a lot of
Last
problems.
House on the Left, they do that scene, and it's
Yeah,
super
but that's
iconic.
more of ashamed than regretful.
Well,
I actually had a lot of
that's
problems
what he was
with that
going
scene.
for. I think more of a shame, not like regretful. That's not the regretful and shame are kind of the same thing.
Kinda, but a little different. Like regretful means that you wish you didn't do it. Ashamed is kind of like you feel bad that you did it.
I personally felt like that
a
montage
difference.
scene with the boyfriend cheating on his girl with the the chick that he picked up and stuff, and then
That's a nicely edited scene.
Obviously
Cut
the
back to
killer
rape and the sex scene. That's pretty explicit shit.
raping the girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's definitely done very well, but I mean, I have problems with the motivations here. It's like, dude, like this guy is on a mission to fucking find this corpse and just dispose of this and deal with the situation and stuff. But he's taking the time to like go out of his way to rape this girl and stuff. But I felt
So
like
he's
the
waiting
rape,
around anyways. He's
even
waiting.
though the rape isn't that explicit, I felt like it was dirty as fuck.
Because she was a virgin.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. Exactly. It almost felt like they were trying to make it elegant, but it's so fucking wrong because she's not down with this. And this is the killer.
No.
Like,
It
there's
was
just
gross.
like so much. Oh my God. There's just so much filth involved in this scene. And I was just like, I'm not sure how I feel about this, man. Like, I'm like, me, I like watching rape revenge films and stuff, but watching rape like that, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? I don't know, man. It felt
back
wrong.
and forth between an actual sex scene too, like a consensual
Like
sex
a
scene.
love scene.
So it was
That's a
really
good point.
on
I love
purpose. They're
making
definitely
scenes.
trying
It's
to
a good
fuck with
point.
you on purpose.
Yeah.
But don't you feel like it's thrown into the film because like we need some sleaze in there too? Because this film is pretty straightforward, and also we
I
have this
think he
montage
wanted
of
the
sex.
people who stole the car to suffer.
Okay.
That's fucking weird.
'Cause at the end, the cop lets him go. He's like, "You guys suffered enough," which is probably not proper police.
No,
procedural
it's
shit.
and that's
Right, yeah.
another thing I've written down here. I think
Italian cops are
I
not
even
very
said
good at
the
it,
ending is
apparently.
bullshit.
We
Like,
watched that.
dude, these guys stole the fucking car. They still committed crimes, but they're being let off. I'm like, I get it, man. There's a disconnection
raped.
between our North American policing and talent, whatever. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. They still commit a crime,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Like,
but I mean,
Super
that's
racist
that's
fear.
so Italian fucking.
Yeah.
shit.
That's just so 70s movies. Like, all right, you guys get a slap on your wrist.
But it makes you think when you watch it, you're like, there's no way that would, like, I mean, I get it. You have to separate yourself from reality, but this is still kind of set in a normal reality, right? The cops wouldn't let them go. I honestly
don't even think twice about this type of stuff in Italian movies because they're all full of this bullshit.
like Giallo was even worse. Remember that? He's like, you kill somebody, I give you a job.
I mean, I honestly really enjoyed this movie. I think there's a great setup to this. The killer's really cool.
I dig it.
The music's not great. It's nothing to stand out. It feels like we're playing library music and stuff like that. I thought the locations are cool. I love Italian films that are set in villas and shit. There's something very common about that setting, and it just feels appropriate to do that.
I'll say that
it's unbalanced though. There's so many.
It is unbalanced.
It's very unbalanced.
Also,
yeah,
I think that like him being able to like just find them was a little bit weird because even like I expected the couple to tell the gas station attendant, "Oh yeah, we plan on going to the beach," and then maybe the guy finding that out from them, but he kind of just is like, "Which way did they go?"
And I hate that freeze frame.
With the little circle.
That was horrible. Yeah. They did it because they didn't have any footage. They did. They're like, we can't film here. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to freeze frame it in ADR overwords. That was trash bags.
Yeah. That's the worst part.
That's the only trash bag scene in the movie.
I just feel like, with that scene with the gas station is like, it's one of those scenes where you just, I don't know, man. I mean, you just kind of assume that like, there's like a kind of an end of the line. They went this way. There's a point where they can only go to, right? That's kind of what I assume it's happening. It's like, well, there's a villa down there.
I don't even know how
they have to be somewhere around there.
Like when they left, when they stole his car and left, like where would you, if somebody stole your car and left, like would you have any idea where to go to find them?
Hop on the E-way if I was close to one. That's what he did. But that's all. But it's so vague. It was very vague.
No, I mean it's definitely super vague. It's the way I perceive the timeline is like this guy gets in his car and he starts driving and he just goes in a straight line. Just like how, the people that stole his car went in a straight line. He just followed in the straight line, like that's how I see the narrative playing out kind of thing. Right. So, and if you follow that logic, when he gets to the gas station, like they went that way. So he just kept going, there's a villa here. They had to go to the villa. Right. So it's very nonsensical. But
at the gas station, when the dude tells his girlfriend to like show dude his boobs, I'm like, honestly, that didn't really have effect on what you did.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was staring at the tits and he snatched the money out of his hand.
Yeah, but you just snatch the money out of your hand either way.
Oh,
he's counting the money. It's not like he did it differently when he was staring at the tits. He still held it the same way.
Yeah, normally would. But JP, there's tits.
Distracted.
Man, George Hill.
I'm saying, but you can just take someone's money out of their hand regardless if there's tits or not.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did. He took the dude's money out of his hand. It ain't like the guy sat his money down and was looking at the boobs. Like he still just snatched it out of his hand.
Yeah, but he wasn't paying attention. His guard was down a little bit.
His guard was down, but okay.
It probably didn't help very much. Probably helped a little bit.
I wanted some more George Hilton in the film, though, to be honest.
Yeah, he's the best actor in the movie. Besides the killer's great.
He's awesome, man. The chick that the boyfriend picks up, who is it? What the fuck, man?
Christina Garbo. She's in Let's Sleepy Corpses Lie.
Yeah, the Femi, what the fuck's her name, man? She's the chick from Strip Nude for Your Killer. We reviewed that.
I was talking about the redhead.
The blonde chick. The blonde chick.
Oh, yeah. So,
which I don't think that's a real hair in the movie because if you look at her IMDb picture, like that's the chick from fucking I Strip Nude for Your Killer.
That movie's so trashy.
She's fucking hot, dude. She looks way better in that movie than she does in
Which character is she in Strip Nude for Your Killer?
Fuck, dude. I don't know. Like, she's
the only character I remember off the top of my head is that fat guy that's gonna have sex with the blood
honestly
doll.
If you watch it again, you'd probably recognize her right away. I can see her. I can't remember what character she is, though.
I've seen that movie twice.
Yeah, she's hot though, man. Whew. Super good looking. But
so
there's a lot of characters in like these types of movies that like the young couple, like there's like the same couple out of Oasis of Fear, you know what I mean, like that couple in the club, the Lindsay movie, they're like the same, like instead they're just like young kids on the run. It's a very typical kind of character thing from Italian movies and in general all movies. So it's like mixing two genres almost.
Like this movie always makes me laugh, man, is like how many fucking close calls there was with checking the trunk. Like, you know what really bugs
But
me,
that's
Matt?
very Hitchcocky.
It is very but I mean, there's one scene in this film where you obviously probably would go around and pop the trunk a little bit, or to figure out what's going on. Is when after that, the boyfriend fucks that chick in the road, and then she's like, "Oh, I failed my road test like 5 times," and puts in reverse and then crashes the fucking. It's so ridiculous because it's just a plot point of creating tension to open up that trunk and shit like that. But like, if you watch the scene, I think it's George, or what's his name? What's the fucking guy's name again? Luca. His name's Luca. So he goes to the side and he's just kind of trying to, close the trunk from the side. I'm like, you wouldn't get right behind it and try to fix some shit and stuff. Like, come on, man. It's like so unrealistic.
Or just take a belt and latch it shut.
Right. And which would involve probably opening it and doing some, sort of tying mechanism. Like, come on, man.
He obviously isn't very smart.
It seems so illogical that you would not check the trunk. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Even to throw that in there.
I thought the very end was like fucking eye rolling.
See, what bugs me about the ending of this movie is that the movie ends in 10 minutes. Right? We have like this whole middle part of the film, and then all of a sudden it gets to like the third act and is like 10 minutes. It just kind of fucking ends. It's so quick. It's way too quick, man. I felt like there's no tension at all. It's supposed to be a pure thriller. But I do kind of like what the killer does to lure her in. That's kind of cool.
I just think that like
it just happens too quick. It just happens way too quick.
Leaving the body in the trunk seemed
cops wouldn't do that either.
Stupid as fuck. And then the way he comes up with his gun and he puts his hands, and the dude like knows he's caught, and he like puts his hands out and the guy has the handcuffs already. I'm just like, that's so cheap.
Oh, you're talking about the very end. I was talking about the killer like at the villa and stuff like that. Like how he lures her in there. He's like, oh, yo, we what he's saying to her and stuff like that, right?
Police chiefs and
yeah, it's kind of cool. He's acting like he's a cop and stuff, and that was kind of cool and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, man, I just feel like the whole wrap up is literally like 10-11 minutes.
George Hilton's an idiot. Like, dude, I would have walked right by that car and acted like I didn't see it.
Yep, exactly.
Because the cops are watching you. They told you they're gonna watch you. Dude, he was dumb. That's why all he was
you had to do. Like literally, I had this written down. I'm like, what kind of fucking moron would recognize that shit and not get the fuck out of there?
I would just walk in the house and act like I didn't see it.
Dude, anybody in the right mind would just be like, fuck that. Just keep going. Right?
Yeah.
You got a better chance of surviving that situation if you just let it go. Right?
Just play stupid. Play dumb.
But he goes back to the same spot, because that's what he knows. Like, give me a break. This guy seems like he's a logical person, but that's why it's so illogical and ridiculous. That's what makes the ending so stupid.
When he lied about the lighter. He should have said, I found this lighter, or somebody left it at the club. And
instead of giving
it definitely is some very, very suspect writing. There's some suspect writing there.
Be vague.
Also, I'm not going to hold on to a fucking lighter of a murder victim. Ever.
Or a murderer.
You got a light?
Right.
You got a light?
Yeah.
Fuck, come on, man.
You knew right when he got that lighter.
Exactly. It's so predictable.
The body to the same fucking spot.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He's so dumb. That's all he knew what to do, though, because he had nothing. He wasn't very smart. He wasn't a smart guy. They never portray him as smart. I don't think so. I mean, you think he's got to have some level of
he's more ballsy than anything, because his whole plan was devised on watching a killer dispose of a body. What kind of fucking idiot just approaches somebody thinking, oh, he's not going to kill me because I'm not a witness to his fucking crime?
Oh, by the way, you might want to put a spoiler warning on that. I totally didn't. I forgot.
Dude,
we normally don't.
You don't even have to say that shit anymore because I have the spoiler intro that I have, right?
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be putting it on. Yeah. But
ratings? You guys got anything else?
That was JP, not me.
No, I'm good, man. You might as well start, JP.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I thought it was super cool. I think that like right away the setup kind of intrigued me, and even though it sort of bogged down, I was just curious to see where it was going to go. So it did hold my attention. I like simple kind of setups like that. Okay, it's like this guy goes to kill the girl, he takes her to the trunk, and then some kids steal his car. Like, okay, you got me hooked. I'm only curious to see what happens. So right away, like hook, line, and sinker with me. In fact, I was watching this and I got a phone call from Carly, or I called her, and I was like, look, I know you're not like a huge fan of Italian horror films, but like this one's I'm watching this movie and it's actually kind of cool. And I told her the setup just because I thought it would be something she would like. And yeah, I think I thoroughly enjoy it. I think it has some, plot issues and stuff like that. In the middle, just kind of goes a little too long, where not much happens. But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Dave.
Same exact 7 out of 10, which I think is a very good movie. I'd jump back between a 7 and a 7.5, but I eventually settled on a 7.
Same.
Jeremy.
Surprisingly, I am at a 8.
Well, since you're hired, you want to explain that a little bit?
What? I just liked everything. I liked the plot. I liked the story. Like I said, it's very Hitchcocky. I mean, sure, the middle's a little boring and things like that, but it didn't hinge my enjoyment of the movie too much. So, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining and it held my attention. So, give it an 8.
Fair enough. I am also in at a 7. I think we've been reviewing too long, and I think we're on the same page a little bit too much here. I'm surprised that Jeremy's the highest on this one, man. But I feel like it's a perfect 7 out of 10. I mean, it's got a great setup. I think there's some problems with it, but it's got some really good casting and there's some good moments and stuff. But overall, it plays out a lot better than
horror
than you probably would think it would be. Well, because I mean, for me at first, I was kind of disappointed that right in the first 15 minutes, I knew this was not a giallo, right? And I was like, okay, give me a straight up kind of Hitchcocky and thriller type thing. It's not as good as a Hitchcock. It's not written as well as that at all. There's definitely a lot of problems. But
there is a police procedural aspect, which some people would consider partially a giallo.
Yeah, but partially. I mean, okay, so it has one element. It has one element, but I mean,
there's
the biggest part of a giallo, man, is the POV killer black. Like, there's that to me.
Not always. I mean, Death Lays an Egg isn't very standard on a giallo for a lot of people, but there is the murders. There's the black gloves in that too. So they veer. They get really weird. But after 1970,
I think the backbone of a giallo has that POV
has to
killer.
Have a level of mystery to it, though. There's no mystery.
Yeah, not really here.
Yeah, there's no mystery at all. And like I said, the POV killers and stuff, that's kind of a backbone. There's obviously different ways you can approach a giallo genre, but this is straight up thriller.
But I still think they would throw this on. This story would be on one of the yellow books.
Probably.
As a suspense story.
Yeah,
and
probably.
They would call it a giallo back then.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that.
But 1975 is really late for this to be called a giallo when it doesn't fit the formula that the giallo has become. So.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. It's not like a straight up just copycat giallo, considering what Cozzi's career turned into. It was basically just like, let's follow these trends and formulas and stuff, and let's do these films for making quick money. But yeah, this one kind of stands out a little bit. So
I would like to see this get a Blu-ray. I'd pick it up from like an Arrow or something.
Well, I mean, the way things are going right now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is being re-released by who knows, Vinegar Syndrome, man.
Well,
they're releasing some of the Mondo titles,
definitely will be.
I mean, Giallo Volume 3?
It's definitely going to get a release.
Killer Must Kill Again. Right. All right, so
within
that
a
is...
year and a half.
Yeah, I truly believe it, man. Yep. So that is The Killer Must Kill Again from 1975.
Do you mean they come from outer space?
Why not? How many worlds are there in the universe? Millions. Perhaps billions.
Unless they come from much closer, but...
All right, so moving along into the second film from 1980 called Contamination, also known as Alien Contamination, also known as
Toxic Spawn, also known as Aliendrome.
Eggs from Hell.
Dude, it's like hell. Italian films are so ridiculous. Contamination, Alien on Earth.
It's the markets, though, right? I mean, it makes sense why this movie would have been marketed as Alien Contamination in the U.S., right? Because it was playing off the coattails of, obviously, Alien.
And none of those titles are good.
Aliens, right?
No, Alien.
Contamination has like a ring to it, like you want to watch it, but really, doesn't really. It's not about.
This movie came out 6
really.
years before Aliens.
Yeah, it's not really contaminating anything. That
Yeah,
should
like it is, but it's
like
not like the
contamination
Contamination movie.
0.7. No, that's contamination.
It has like 12 names too to it. Troll 3, Crawlers. Who the fuck named that Troll 3? Whoever named that Troll 3 should have got hit in the back of the head.
Dude, that's the funniest shit ever that was named Troll 3. It makes no sense.
I mean, Troll 2 was goblins, and then Troll 3 is Killer Roots.
Killer Roots.
The worst. That's the worst franchise. Like as far as like movies that go.
The Troll 4 is a sword and sorcery. There's a Troll 4.
Dude, it's like the La Casa series, man.
I think Troll 4
Makes no
is
sense.
actually part of the Ator series too.
Yeah, that's
Troll
what I
4
think it is, right?
Troll 4 is Ator 4.
Really?
Tor, it's
so stupid.
So if you did the Troll franchise, you'd have to watch 3 Troll movies and 4 fucking Ator movies. And the Ator movie, I've seen part 1. It's not good.
Nice. Okay. Synopsis. Contamination. A former astronaut helps a government agent.
Is that an astronaut from Austria?
Apparently. Helps a government agent and a police detective track the source of mysterious alien pod spores filled with lethal flesh-dissolving acid to a South American coffee plantation controlled by alien pod clones. It's so funny.
So fucking dumb.
When you fucking read that, it's so fucking ridiculous. Oh man, that's funny.
Dude, this is such a fucking zombie alien ripoff to the point where they start exactly like Zombie. In the dock in the bay with the music and the fucking helicopters and the stupid siren, the horns you hear on the boats. And then they go to an exotic location. Like he's like, dude, this is more of a zombie ripoff than an alien ripoff.
Well, it actually was actually made to be a little bit of a zombie ripoff and stuff. That was done by the producers and stuff. But the funny thing about Contamination is that we see as horror fans, we see straight zombie like Fulci ripoff here.
Yeah.
Hence, with the obvious influence of, I mean, the point of making Contamination from Luigi Cozzi was, to rip off Alien. That was the actual point. It turned into a zombie ripoff. But the core of this, though, is actually it's a straight James Bond movie.
Yeah, spy movie in the center.
It's an absolute James Bond movie, and I always thought that. And the crazy thing is that it turns out that the original producer for the film actually was not a fan of horror and exploitation films, but he knew that making money, it's the way the Italians do it. You got to fucking rip off something, hence Alien, and of course the Fulci Zombie that was doing really well at the time too. But he wanted to make a James Bond movie, so that's how this got incorporated into it. This movie,
I can feel that because there's like horror at the beginning, horror at the end, and like one tiny horror scene in the middle.
Yeah,
so it's horror in the beginning, sci-fi at the end, and then action boringness in the middle.
The whole movie is literally the same structure as a James Bond movie. This movie is about an evil dude trying to take over the world by doing something insane.
I actually said that the main bad guy in this movie, he was a poor James Bond villain that was like a mix of fucking like Leslie Nielsen and Donald Pleasance or some shit like that.
But it's so fucking ridiculous how this is actually a James Bond movie. Like, oh man, it's so great. But okay, so going back to earlier in the show when I mentioned Caroline Munro, the Luigi Cozzi actually wanted to have her starring as the main. He wanted to have her actually as the lead actress in this film. But the producer said, fuck no, because, Caroline Munro is not really...
Is that what he said? He said, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Well, I think he kind of recognized that Caroline Munro is more of a pretty face, not really a leading actress. He wanted someone stronger in the leading role. So, of course, Cozzi had to bow down to that shit, and they hired on the girl that played the lead in this film, who's actually a French-Canadian actress. I think she did actually quite well. It would have been nice to see Caroline Munro in the leading role here, but at the same time, I think that the casting is actually pretty good in this film, to be honest, man. I mean,
I think Ian McCulloch's the only good actor in the movie.
I don't think the chick that plays the lead is actually that
horrible.
No, but I think she would have been. I think she's better than Caroline Munro would have been.
I mean, the acting's way
better
better
in this movie.
Yeah, it's way better than the next movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, but the dubbing's worse than the next movie too. Ian McCulloch's actually a pretty good actor. He comes in the movie at like 35 minutes though.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, what's kind of funny about his fucking character too? He plays a character called Commander Ian Hubbard, and I can't help but think to myself, he was on the space mission to Mars and stuff. They did this whole Mars thing. That's where this whole connection comes from with these exploding eggs and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm playing off this like whole Scientology thing with Ron L. Hubbard. I'm like, did they incorporate this purposely? Right?
Probably.
Right?
Did you notice the miniatures on the Mars scene? Those were just fucking peas.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
it's
they were
so
fucking
funny.
peas.
Really?
Yeah, they were peas. Frozen fucking peas.
That's awesome.
100%.
I didn't notice. I thought they were eggs.
Okay,
I love that. Are you talking about where the music's all like and like the?
Yeah.
I love that part. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
I feel
The
like
light
this
comes through
movie-
the tunnel.
Yeah,
I feel like this
I love
movie
that.
probably would be forgotten if it wasn't for the explosions. I feel like that's
God
the only
explodes.
that's like the one thing everybody remembers from this
the
movie.
music's
Speaking,
fantastic. The music
yeah,
is
and
fucking
Goblin.
amazing. Yeah, the
Goblin's
music's amazing.
Goblin's
So
original
good it was
soundtrack
ripped
for this.
off.
Isn't it absolutely insane? Like movies like this, you know, that were straight ripoffs and shit, could have such an amazing original score by an awesome band like Goblin.
And then it was ripped off.
Dude,
by
it sounds so
rip-off
epic.
artists.
It's just like crazy.
It's so good, man. It is
I
just
like-
definitely so good.
That puppet at the end is pretty fucking cool too, I have to say. The
That
one-eyed
puppet looks like he's from a Japanese 50s sci-fi movie. He's cheap,
Yeah.
but he's funny.
The controlling
cool.
alien character.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like from Boarding from Space or some shit. He's like, I'm fucking 20 years too later.
The thing I love about this movie is how ridiculous the exploding eggs aspect is. They conclude, and there's a lot of like scientific talk in this film, which is absolutely hilarious, man. When they try to break down everything about the, you know, the compound aspects and the bacteria and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, it's
But,
like,
like-
those scientists are talked about, and then we like never see them again. They're just like,
Right,
"Th-
right.
this is an important thing," and then
But I just love the fact that like these exploding eggs, they once the goo or whatever, the bacteria gets on you, it's amazing how fast it absorbs in your body to explode from the inside out. Like,
Dude,
it's
those guys in the
absolutely
fucking-
ridiculous.
Those guys in the beginning were so dumb. They're like, hey, be careful. And he's like, it's perfectly fine. It's all heated up. I was like, God damn it, man.
Yeah, but aren't those the
Fucking
type of
deserve
dudes
But that whole
die?
boat scene is just like the scene in Zombie, right? It's like these.
yeah, it's like, huh?
Hey,
what
it's
are
like
these?
the scene in Hell's
They're
Living
so
Dead.
naive, right?
What are these? What are these huge glowing things that I've never seen before? I think I'm gonna touch it. Yeah, let's touch it.
I'm
Let's see.
surprised the fucker didn't put it on a sandwich and try to bite it.
Right, right. I gotta say though, man, the effects are pretty good in this, man. To be honest, like
I love the eggs. The eggs are so cool to me. I love the idea of this big cruise ship with all these coffee things and these eggs. And I do
it's a
love the
cargo
beginning
ship,
of
not a cruise
Zombie
ship.
too, so.
It's a cargo
Dude,
ship.
the coffee company's called Universe.
Yeah, it's a straight up cargo ship. But I mean, okay, so digging into like the core of the narrative here, like, isn't it super ridiculous that this guy was trying to take over the entire world by dispersing
Halloween 3.
these eggs? But just think about this for a second. There's so much patience involved here. So you have to disperse this thing throughout the whole world and then wait for all these things to fucking explode and kill a bunch of people so you can fucking ride in on your fucking horse and take over the world.
Pretty much. Isn't that what Halloween 3 was all about?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
That one would be harder because you can only sell those masks on Halloween.
And the kids. He's only killing the
But
kids.
the point in Halloween 3 was to kill the kids, though. It wasn't just adults. It was kind of mean spirited with the kids. But this is kind of ridiculous because there is plot issues with the exploding eggs too, because they say that they're heat generated, right? So once the heat or the temperature changes, they will explode and stuff. So there's a scene where they go into a warehouse early in the film, and you know the scientist comes in and she's like, torch them all. And so they start burning these fucking eggs, but none of them are exploding. I'm like, they're being exposed to fucking open flame. Isn't that a temperature change? And none of them are exploding. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's so stupid.
You know how science works, Moods?
I do.
How Italian science works?
It works like this.
Fire, they go
It doesn't.
too fast.
It doesn't work. That's how it works.
But you guys know exactly what I'm referring to, right?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Right? It's complete, utter bullshit that these things aren't exploding when these guys are like, okay, we're going to flamethrow them.
Like, when it explodes, the fire will protect us.
Yeah. So funny,
I was wondering,
man.
are flamethrowers real things? Like, I've never seen.
Yes.
Are you fucking dumb
Dude,
for the second time?
absolutely real.
Are flamethrowers real things?
Yes. Vietnam. Everywhere. War.
You know what, man? For once,
yes, Vietnam.
For once in an Italian film, I think that the scene where they're testing out the the bacteria on the rat and the rat explodes. I actually don't think that was real.
Really?
I don't know. It looked weird.
I don't know, man.
I don't think they exploded that rat, dude.
I think they shoved an M80 up that rat's ass.
I don't think so. I actually don't think they exploded a real rat there.
It cut pretty quick though, hard to tell. But
no, you can see when it lands, it looks a little rubbery. Yeah.
When that woman meets Ian Bullock and he fucking slaps her, I was like, I wrote, it's just an understanding that woman slapping is okay in Italy.
Like, you know what? I thought of the same thing when I was watching it. I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot they do this all the time in movies.
Oh, dude, one of the funniest things to me was hilarious. I know it's immature as shit, but when they were in South America, which had to be miserably hot if they actually filmed there, but they probably did, where they fucking put the egg in the bathroom.
Yeah.
On her door handle, it says "No moleste."
This
is no moleste.
For do not disturb. Yeah.
Yeah, it says no moleste. That scene sucks. It's drawn out for.
Wait, was this a video nasty?
Yeah.
You know what, man? They could have made that scene a whole lot better.
Yeah,
you know,
they keep going back and forth for like 30 minutes. Like, let's get her. Let's not get her.
So my fucking main problem with that scene is like,
I thought they were gay lovers.
It doesn't even fucking matter who you are. If you are stuck in the situation and you know that if this exploding fucking fucking egg explodes, you're going to fucking burst up, right?
Rip the shower curtain off and throw it on top
Exactly. Put
the garbage can on top of it.
Exactly. I know.
Exactly.
Set it on fire.
Dude, put something over it. Put the curtain on there. Put the fucking towel on there. But she's trying to get out. She's trying to pick the fucking lock. I'm like, dude, cover that shit. If it explodes into a fucking shower curtain, you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah, you could kick that door in so easily. Come on.
They actually did film in Colombia, by the way.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
So again, with maybe I missed something, but so whenever they find the dude on the cruise ship or whatever, the fucking freight ship or whatever,
cargo ship,
then he cargo ship, he tags along with them again. What like that would never happen. Ever. Yeah, just a random ass cop. You're not going to be involved in this.
No, he sucked. That's why he got eaten.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
the funny
all
thing is,
movies are filled with shit. Like,
dude, he is a Brooklyn cop, kind of thing. I mean,
what the hell does that have to do with anything that they're?
He was a witness, and the girl liked him, kind of, so she brought him along.
I mean, technically, it's his investigation. I mean, it could be his investigation. He could tag along to kind of break this case because it did happen in his jurisdiction because he was there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And to start with.
Absolutely not. This is ridiculous.
No, it's actually true. Like if a crime happens in your jurisdiction, then
you go to Colombia to investigate it. No.
Dude, every movie is like this in the world. Every movie. It doesn't just matter if it's Italian or not. You're gonna go.
If you you're not gonna just if you're dealing with fucking intergalactical space eggs that are exploding, you're not gonna get some low level fucking
hey man, he was the poor sap that happened to walk onto that
Fulci. The only one who can stop an alien invasion.
Right.
That's how it works. It's the 80s.
But dude,
it's bullshit, and I always hate it.
But honestly, dude, the only reason why he's even there in the film is for comic relief, and he's not even that fucking funny. Although the funniest shit in the film with him is when he gets fucking eaten by the alien.
Yeah. And he just turns into a dummy.
Yeah, it's a dummy.
I wish there was
a great dummy death
more,
without the
alien
dive.
Egg stuff throughout.
Yeah, the middle's
like garbage. I wish all the I wish there was henchmen that were
in my opinion, they misuse Ian McCulloch in this film, man, because he's flying around and shit, and he's like, oh, they're harvesting fucking eggs out here and shit like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, let's get some fucking action here because this is obviously a James Bond movie, right? So
yeah. Hey, did you guys spot the guy from Cannibal Holocaust in here?
You know fucking everything, Dave.
No, I've seen Cannibal Holocaust a million times. So
which guy's from Cannibal Holocaust?
At the very end, one of the black goon, he's like, it tastes like someone pissed in this beer from Cannibal Holocaust, the soldier who sends them in the very beginning. Dude, he sends them on the mission.
Didn't even notice.
He's in the end. He's one of the bad guys. But I was just like, holy shit, he's there. He's the bald black guy because he's like a
holy
commando.
Shit, he's there.
No, because I had never seen that dude in another movie or never noticed him, and I was like, dude, that's the dude from Cannibal Holocaust.
I know there's one of the bad guy goons is in I've seen that guy in a bunch of movies too. I can't.
Yeah, there's a couple guys like that in the background too.
You noticed him too. I couldn't place him, but I was like, I know that guy.
I was in tears when there's a scene towards I think it's the end, maybe, but 3 of the guys get blown up in their suits and their guts are exploding, and there's this guy in the back left with a mustache who has his eyes open and his mouth open and he's just dying in slow motion with the dumbest fucking face I've seen in
What is with the
35 seconds.
slow-mo
He's like,
does?
and I couldn't stop laughing at him.
Oh my god, there's so much slow-mo in this movie, it's ridiculous. Like, every kill is just, it's just maxed out. Man, it's amazing.
If this movie was like the first 20 minutes the whole way through, I'd be like, this is an 8. This is a fucking amazing movie. But it's not. And the middle's fucking balls. The middle's like a 4. It's horrible. It's
you know
so
what?
boring.
I think the middle of the film is more exciting than the last film, though. I mean, just to me, because like the whole time I'm watching this film, I'm perceiving it as like a James Bond movie, and if you guys know I'm a James Bond geek.
Yeah.
Like I'm a total Bond geek, right? So all this shit's kind of
Never seen a single James Bond movie in my life.
Yeah,
I've only seen Goldeneye.
I've seen everything. So many times. It's ridiculous. I grew up like I'm a dork when it comes to Bond. So like watching this film, like this is straight up Bond. This is ridiculous. I love this, man. So I kind of understand the whole structure of these movies. So you're gonna have those type of. I mean, I'm not saying Bond movies are boring in the middle. And
I've
stuff
seen a lot
by
of
any
spy
means,
procedural movies, though. Like, I've seen that.
So have I.
Like, Japanese movies, they all do it. Every country has those, and they're all the same kind of deal. Espionage shit. Even if it's like them trying to figure out car shit, and the Japanese movies are it's just the same thing.
You know what the weirdest aspect of this movie, though, is the dude that they thought was dead, who turns out to be, like, the fucking head villain here.
Yeah, how do they not know he's alive?
Because he fucking left him on the planet. What do you mean?
But wouldn't somebody, like, he convinced everybody that he died. Wouldn't somebody know that he's not really dead?
This was 1980. They didn't have the internet. No one gives
I mean,
a fuck.
he had to get off there somehow.
But he was pretty famous. They're the only guys that have been to Mars before. Like,
yeah, but they left him on the planet, right? He got left on the planet, and
Or
he came back,
and he was all
from
fucked
the
up or
aliens.
No, he came back and he was fine, but then he died a couple years later or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Apparently,
and they said that Ian McCulloch was crazy. No one believed him, and they discharged him. That's why he was so mad at everybody, because they literally told him, "You're crazy and stupid, and we don't like you. Your life is over." And then, like 2 years later, they came back like, "You were right. Can we get your help?"
Well, I mean, they only went to him because he was the only living member.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so
he's the only one
they
to
didn't
do anything.
They didn't even have a choice. But the interesting thing is the villain here. The most intriguing thing is this telepathic connection to the fucking exploding eggs.
I have that written here too. I said that's so dumb. I said egg sucking Bond is dumb. So dumb.
But it doesn't even make sense, though. They don't ever even try to explain why he has this connection to these eggs.
When the eggs explode, he's like, we're losing eggs.
So and that part is so stupid. I think that's the stupidest part of the entire movie. I wish they hadn't done that, because it just kind of makes you think. You're like, what the? It doesn't make any fucking sense. This guy went. So why doesn't Ian McCulloch? Why doesn't fucking Ron L. Hubbard have this fucking?
Ron L. Hubbard.
Why does
What's his full name again?
Ron L. Hubbard. So
is his character's name actually Ron Hubbard?
No, it's Ian Hubbard.
Okay.
But it's just the fact that he went to Mars and alien. Anyways, but why doesn't he have this type of connections and stuff? I'm like, there's nothing explained on that portion. It's kind of a shame actually that they didn't go that far, because when they introduced this whole telepathic thing with the eggs, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, he must have been, the big alien must have brainwashed him. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It just.
I'm not even going to try to justify.
You got to stretch it. Oh, you don't even have to justify. I really, really probably enjoy this movie way too much. And again, it has a lot to do. I actually watched the special features for this. Again, I watched the whole ripoff thing, but I watched the segment with the dude from Goblin talking about the music and stuff like that. It was really fucking cool, really interesting stuff, and like how they queued it up and how they were fighting the whole time and how they fought.
Yeah, this was actually the first arrow that they ever sent me on one of the check disc version, and I watched all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Oh, so you've seen that when the guy's in the studio talking about his time with Contamination and. He was like a 5-time member of Goblin. Like this guy, he was in Goblin, and then he left, and he came back, and Simonetti, everybody hated each other. Just put it that way. Like that band is quite interesting. But the music is definitely one of the big standouts here. But I think this movie is fun as fuck. And to be honest, to totally lump this into like an Alien ripoff, it makes sense to put it in there, but. It's not really a full-blown Alien ripoff, because first of all, this movie does not take place.
It's just the eggs and the fact that the end sort of looks a little bit like Alien.
Yeah, I think it's a zombie
other than
ripoff,
that, it's just the eggs.
to be honest.
It's a fucking. This is a zombie / James Bond movie.
I mean, the beginning is
with a little bit of alien.
The beginning
in there.
is just zombie.
The whole movie, the entire
zombie.
movie, is literally a James Bond movie. Like, I mean, that's first and foremost. You know, it's
zombies an adventure movie, and so is this.
Yeah,
like they see this. No, Zombie really is an adventure movie. The whole script was written as an adventure movie, and they actually had it planned to be directed by Ennio Castellari, but he refused. It was going to be an adventure movie. The script is an adventure movie.
And then he went on to do the fucking.
But Fulci got it. Fulci's just made it even gross as fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it up until the shark is adventure, I guess, but...
Yeah. Then it just becomes straight up gore fest.
Well, it becomes Fulci, right?
Yeah. I mean, because the shark is just straight out of, like, you're like, what?
I love the fact that I'm not even mad.
Like, the first time I seen that's why, like, it is very off-putting, that scene, because you're just like, what
so
the
weird.
fuck? Like, why?
You don't expect it to actually happen. Like, you're like, there's a zombie to fight the shark. Like, sure, whatever. And then
it seems a little bit... It seems very kind of, you know, full of gimmicks and shit like that, but at the same time, it's also something that everybody remembers from that film. It's the look of the zombies and the fucking zombie shark.
And the splinter in the eye.
Shark thing.
Splinter in the eye, man. Everybody remembers
See,
that.
I think of that too, but everyone thinks about the zombie versus shark thing. It's weird.
I think Splinter in the eye and the zombie versus shark are both on the top.
Yeah. For me,
Rating.
Music.
The music in this movie is amazing. Like I said, Hell of the Living Dead stole this music and Dawn of the Dead's music. And I've seen Hell of the Living Dead when I was like 10, like 100 times.
Yeah.
So like right when I hear this music, I automatically love it.
Mm-hmm. It's good music.
Absolutely. Again, you know, I mean, low budget film that did really well in Italy, that had an amazing original soundtrack from Goblin. You know, I mean, this is what Goblin built their career on. I mean, he even talks about this in the special features. Is like, man, when the Italian horror film fucking faded out in the mid '80s, we did too. It's kind of unfortunate, man. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
So. Yes. Who went for Dave? Dave, you start.
See, like, when I talk about this, I like it more. I'm like, oh, I like this a lot more. This is the third time watching this movie, and I'll probably never watch it again. Honestly.
This is my fourth time.
I think I'd probably watch this movie a couple more times.
Seriously, but are you done with it? I'm probably done with it.
I probably won't watch it for a while.
Yeah, I like the opening. Like I said, if it kept that pace of the opening or even felt more like the ending, this is a group movie. I'd watch it in a group and enjoy myself, but right now I'm just going to give it a 6. Like, I like it, but I don't love it anymore.
Dude, we are so far apart. I love this movie. God, I love this movie. And it's pure for just personal. Yeah.
Jeremy?
I'm at a 6-2. 6.
Moods?
I fucking love this movie. I mean, honestly, I said what I had to say about it with, you know, its connection to Bond ripoffs is like truly amazing to me. That you could incorporate Fulci and Bond and make a Contamination film, which is, you know, an alien ripoff, I guess, essentially. But the gore does it for me. The music does it for me. I think this one has so much replay value. I think it's great, man. I have no problems with this at all. I'm at an 8 out of 10. I love this one.
All right. I really enjoy this one as well. I liked it when I first seen it. I watched it on Joe Bob, and he liked it, and I liked it watching it on there. And then I watched it with the commentary back in the day. So yeah, this is my 4th time. And I've always pretty much felt exactly the same about it. I don't think it's like an amazing movie, and I'm not a huge James Bond fan, obviously. So like some of the middle section kind of bogs it down for me a little bit, but I really love the opening. Like for some reason I love that. I mean, I wish that I kind of get why
Trade Center and stuff.
I kind of get why people rip off Alien and I guess Zombie too, because I really like both of those films. And for the Zombie, I love that when they come on that creepy boat and there's the fat zombie and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just like people finding something adrift and it's creepy. And then I don't know, I like the eggs. I think the eggs are super cool, even though they don't make the most sense. So yeah, I really like this one. I think I've always kind of given it around a 6.5 to a 7. I'm gonna stick there. I'll go 6.5 since I gave The Killer Must Kill Again a 7. I think that one's a little bit better. but 6.5 for me.
Did you have to call the zombie fat?
I'm sorry. Plus size.
I'm just kidding. Plus size zombie.
Dude, I love the effects in this, man. Maybe a little bit too slow-mo at times.
I
But
love slow motion. I'm a sucker for it. I love Sam Peckinpah.
Team Woods usually hates slow motion.
and you know, that's exactly what they were actually doing with this too, right? They were actually trying to imitate the violence of the Wild Bunch and stuff. That was actually an influence for this. So
They definitely didn't get it right.
yeah. I mean, I've mentioned hundreds of times on this, man. I'm not a big fan of slow motion unless it's done in small quantities. You know, I feel like it's overdone here. It's like every fucking scene.
Peckinpah uses it amazingly because he speeds it up and slows it down. He does all sorts of crazy shit with it.
But he also used it as the point of making the viewer feel the pain.
Yeah, he was the best at it.
That's what the point of that was. And like, I mean, I understand what they were going for here, and I guess it kind of made sense because like if you're exploding from the inside out and you slow it down, what are you doing when you're watching? You're cringing. You're like,
not trying to say anything with this slow motion.
No. He's ripping off. He's ripping off Peckinpah. He's ripping off Peckinpah. That's what he's doing.
It's just fun. It's just
but
fun.
the point is, I think that he's, I mean, maybe he's trying to be like, oh, I can do this, what he's doing, kind of thing. But
well, Andrew Costello used slow motion too in the Polizio Testes and crime films he did. So fuck it. It was a thing going on at the time.
Yeah, man, those giant squashes and mangoes. Fuck. That shit it cracked me up in the film. They call them, I don't know what they are. They look like giant squashes or mangoes.
What the fuck kind of mango is that?
It's like, what the fuck?
Looks like the eggs in Ernest Scared Stupid.
But they even referred to them as like pumpkins, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, non-ripe pumpkins, I guess. But
dude, I wrote this down, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. White zombie line, Holocaust up. What?
You're a moron.
Don't you love when you do that? You read your notes after and you're like, I have no idea what I was writing.
No, usually my brain works better. I remember the shit I write. Yeah. I'd like to see your notes. Is house RERUS?
Dude, I have a note that says
I don't take notes.
I literally have a note that says
you can't
yes,
write, bro.
The Cyclops. That's it.
The Cyclops.
It says yes, the Cyclops. I even comment that shit.
The Cyclops.
Like, what am I I'm just okay. I'm talking about the fucking Cyclops here. Like, what?
Yeah, my notes are like shit like that too. Because like half the time you're watching the movie and then you like try to write something down and then miss something.
Although I did write in here that the Harvesters look like the guys from the Crazies, which I didn't mention. They completely look like the dude from the Crazies, right?
Yeah.
So looking at my notes, and that's funny about the show. I always write like pages of notes, and I never use them as reviewing.
Sometimes writing it down helps you remember, though.
It does.
Yeah, when I watch a movie early in the week, by the time Friday rolls around when we record, if I watch it Monday or Sunday, I'm fucked. I don't remember shit about it.
Every time I talk about it, I remember it while I'm talking about it. I'm like, the movie is, and then it will all start coming back. I'm like, thank God.
It's always minor details.
Actually, hearing you guys talk about it reminds me of shit that I thought while watching it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. That's why doing a show with people is better than doing it solo, because you bounce ideas and remember shit. Otherwise, it's hard sometimes.
Very fair.
Because you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about some shit now?
It's like doing YouTube videos, right?
Yeah, it can be rough sometimes. Sometimes you're like, what am I talking? Like, especially anthologies. I've forgotten whole segments in an anthology.
Right. I did that when I watched.
Yeah.
Dude, I've actually had to like write shit down on a fucking computer and kind of fucking glance at it like for anthologies, because like I always forget parts in anthologies, man. Especially
when I was reviewing the Mortuary Collection on His and Hers, it was like at least a week after I watched it, and I was like, yeah, this segment's good, this segment's good, this one's good, and then I was like, I can't even remember what the last one was, or the third one or something.
There's only 4 in that one.
I know. I totally.
I hate when there's like 8 in it. When you have more than 5, never have more than 5. Never.
I think 5 is great.
Yeah, but never more.
5 is Creepshow.
Yeah, 5 and a wraparound is that's it.
I'm really looking forward to December with 24.
Woohoo! I'm not watching that. Not watching that.
2.5 hours.
We'll let Moods test that one out.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys. Okay, so that was Contamination from 1980.
Today in this house, a contract is stipulated between Niccolò Paganini and the devil, wherein the musician is granted eternal fame in exchange for his soul. Signed, Paganini and C.
Go ahead, open it.
Okay, so moving into the third and final film here on episode 196, the Luigi Cozzi directorial spotlight from 1989 is one of his very last directed feature-length films until recently, and it is called the Paganini Horror.
Paganini.
Quick little synopsis.
Little devils.
Oh, the
ratings.
Dub. Oh, the
Ratings
dub.
then.
Oh, the dub.
Yep.
All right.
The dub.
When a female rock band use of an infamous old piece of sheet music to record their new album in an old mansion, they accidentally open a porthole to hell. That was worded funny, but kind of
Little
accurate.
demons. Sorry, not little devils. My apologies.
But kind of accurate though. So this movie right here is actually starring Dario Nicoletti, of course, used to be married to Argento. Kind of surprising to see her. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say uberly surprised to see her in this film, but yeah, she's got I would say kind of a minor to lead role in the movie kind of thing.
It's kind of a big part.
Supporting. I'd say supporting.
Yeah, she's more supporting to add into. I mean, I guess when you flush out the narrative here, it works out a
big part.
Works out a little bit differently, but
Donald Pleasance is so drunk during this.
Absolutely shit-faced. That's my very first impression from this.
I love the shot of him like walking down the street, just like howling around before he goes up the staircase, and he's just like, wobble, wobble, wobble.
All I can see in Donald Pleasance in this is like his character from Wake and Fright and also Circus of Horrors, where he's shit-faced in both those movies, and it's like, I'm going to replay those characters. That's what
he's shit-faced in every movie. I'm telling you, he's just that good of an actor. It doesn't matter to him until he...
I love it,
the
man.
combination to the briefcase was 666.
Yeah.
I could not stop laughing.
So, of course, Paganini Horror starts out with an Italian female rock band who is in the studio recording some new songs, and the producer's like, fuck this, man. This shit ain't working. This shit ain't gonna sell. The beauty of the song that they're playing in the beginning of the film is a complete ripoff of Bon Jovi's You Gave Love a Bad Name. It's like an Italian version of it. It's phenomenally amazing. I love it. You guys catch on to that?
I do like the music in this movie, all of it.
But that song is just a ripoff of the song. It's done in different key and lyrics and stuff. It's hilarious. So anyways, they're like, yo, you guys got to do something about this. So anyways, it just kind of cuts to one of their friends buying some sheet music from
Donald Pleasance.
From Donald Pleasance's character, who is named, what the fuck's his name in the movie?
Mr. something.
Mr. Pickett.
I don't know.
Mr. Pickett.
Mr. Pickett. So it cuts to one of their friends buying some sheet music from Mr.
But
Pickett.
as he says he might not have any name, or he might have 1,000 names.
Right. So this guy fucking buys some music, and he's like, here's the combination to the briefcase, and of course it's 666, and you know shit's gonna hit the fan right there, right? So anyways, they get this music and they go to the secluded house where they go to record this new music and shoot some videos and stuff, and we learn that it is basically a porthole to hell, and people start dying. So
yeah, this house was actually like a big house where a bunch of musicians practice and stuff, and has a long history. And Dario Nicoletti is actually the owner of the house and renting it out to the rock band. Yeah. And there's some new wave horror director who's going to direct the music video and everything.
With no lighting or nothing.
Nah, they don't need
Low
lighting.
budget, dog.
No, but honestly, dude, when they first start recording they get this idea to call the new song Paganini Horror, which is actually based off the real life person Paganini. He was actually a real life violinist, Italian, very famous. Obviously, this is a fictional story. This guy never really actually. The story or the narrative in the movie is about, this guy apparently sold his soul to the devil for fortune and fame and stuff like that. This never actually was a thing. It wasn't ever a myth with the real Paganini person in real life.
Who was the artist said
But it
sold
is
his
a
soul.
myth
Robert
with
Johnson?
fucking
Was it
musicians
Johnson?
in general.
Yeah, Robert
Who
Johnson.
was the jazz musician. Yeah, he sold his soul for the devil, they said, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But with Paganini, this was never a myth with his real life character or person. So they just kind of took his name. He was a famous Italian violinist back in the...
And rubbed it through the dirt just to make a bad movie.
I have a question. Why do you two hate this movie?
Bad acting, absolutely horrendous. Some of the worst acting.
But Jeremy,
oh my God.
Jeremy, the acting can't even be judged because the dubbing is just dubbed poorly.
That was my next point.
It's
the
just
dubbing
dubbed poorly.
is absolutely fucking awful.
Yeah,
it kind of makes it funny though.
Where the acting's bad in a low budget horror movie.
I just didn't find it interesting at all. I just had no interest in it whatsoever.
The acting in this one's just funny. Like it's like not to the point where you're never invested in their characters, so I don't give a fuck. It just makes me laugh.
Dude, all this movie is
that era.
The thing I love about this movie, man, is that it's one of those setups where you're like, okay, this is going straight nightmare logic. And everything that's happening in this film is straight nightmare logic, and you should probably throw your mind right out the fucking frame when you're watching this shit. And that's why it's so enjoyable, because when it comes...
by the end, it justifies you feeling that
Exactly, JP. Thank you for saying what I wanted to say right there. And that's exactly what it comes down to. And it just kind of proves the point. But honestly, dude, I love the way this movie looks, man. Like the outside shots with that blue tint and shit. Oh,
See,
man.
I think it's this...
Yeah, it looks cool, dude.
It looks super fucking cool, man.
When I was watching this, I had no idea that people didn't like it.
I actually watched a movie from this year that messed up like their day for night pretty bad. Like they didn't do day for night, but they tried to cloud up the sky and make it look like gloomy. And half the time it was like shot really well and they did it right, but the other half you could tell it was like bright blue skies and it looked like shit, and they just made a gloomy tint over it.
Yeah.
This one, I believe that is a day for night, and it looks pretty good actually. I mean,
yeah,
I watched this like when it came out on Blu-ray. And I actually was pretty harsh on it. But rewatching it this time, I was like, you know what? This is a lot more fun. And especially after watching The Black Cat by Cozzi, I was like, this one's fun. It's entertaining. It's a piece of shit. It's no doubt a piece of shit. Like,
I don't think it is. I don't think it's that bad at all, dude. I think it's a good movie.
I am so fucking blown away right now that JP actually liked this, but I'm very glad that it's probably 2 against 2 right now. But
I'm not going to come down low. Like I'm not coming in anything this is under than average.
It's good. It got good atmosphere. I thought that by the ending, when you find out what's going on and stuff, I like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
There's 25 minutes that drags though. Like after,
but no, it's creepy walking through a creepy big house. I like people wandering through creepy buildings.
Dude, it's got that whole fucking inferno thing where she falls like basically through the floor and goes into the fucking basement and it gets all creepy and shit like that. It's kind of like that.
There's some other.
Yeah,
no, I'm just
Inferno's so well done. Though.
No, but dude, I'm not saying it's on the same level as Inferno. Obviously, I'm just saying it has a similar scene with going through a floor in a place and experiencing some fucking horror, kind of thing, right? But
like I said,
it's there.
After the girl falls through the hole, I like the movie up until that point, and then there's literally like 25 minutes of people just wandering and not much happening, and then there's a big scene of exposition where they talk for like 10 minutes and it's really
people get
and then they do the violin wood rot thing, which I kind of like, but they don't really set it up very well, so it's
probably
just
the best effect in the movie.
Yeah, but it's just not it's just like, all right, well, how do we kill somebody? I want to melt somebody, so how are we going to do that? They're going to disappear off screen and then we're going to find them later. There's a lot of off-screen kills too. Off-screen kills. The weapon's awesome though. The violin knife is very cool. The killer's look is cool.
The most ridiculous thing about the movie is the explanation that the producer comes up with, knowing about this like bacteria, about this wood and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I'm talking about. That's just so horseshit.
But like, I mean, it honestly is, because like nobody would ever fucking know that shit. Like,
that's what I mean. Like that whole there's a bunch of exposition there to explain some stupid shit.
Like, but again, when I'm dealing with a film that's in the nightmare logic, I'm like, nothing matters at this point. It's like, anything can fucking go. I mean, that explanation to me is like
does it
ridiculous.
Really surprise you that much that I don't like this movie?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Does it really like shock you when you're watching?
No, it's more surprising that JP liked this movie than you not liking this movie. That's what I'm a little bit more surprised. No, this is not your type of movie at all.
But when you compare nightmare logic, like if you take Michele Soave, which is making movies at the same time, like The Church, The Church is it's a great movie, and it doesn't. It's nightmare logic, and I let it slide because everything else is so good, and I like the atmosphere. I believe the craziness. Like I never roll my eyes because some character doesn't come and just make up something like that'd be literally like a scene where they had to explain everything for no apparent reason. Yeah, like that would fucking shit.
I mean, obviously, if you want to compare this to The Church, it's not done as well. Obviously,
because they obviously would be direct compare pieces. They're both Dario proteges, both rated around the same time. I imagine the budget on Paganini Horror is very low, though, in comparison.
Yeah. But I mean, it has a lot of elements. I like the whole music setup and stuff like that. And there's one really cool thing. I like the transition to telling the story of Paganini and stuff, and and it kind of going from the standard setting to the video shoot. With what they're doing is I don't want to give everything.
I wish we'd have got to see the mannequins he was talking about. They could have made a real cool horror piece with those mannequins.
Actually,
I love it.
That's actually kind of a shame they didn't do that.
His death is hilarious. He's like when they run into the fence and his car blows up. He's like laying on the dashboard. And he's a fucking dummy. It's hilarious.
Remember when his hand gets burned? He's like, my hand.
Man, it's actually one of my favorite things.
Gets burned and she screams the same shit.
It's one of my favorite things of the whole movie, actually, is the Paganini curse, where they kind of have that force field up around the place and stuff, and then that's when you realize that there's something like that there when that car drives into it and it just fucking explodes.
They added a bunch of monsters in this movie. I probably would rate it much higher because it's just the
spooky. Yeah, I think
it's just the spookies.
But why would there be monsters in it though, man? It wasn't.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just comparing it. If you added like the spookies monsters in here,
why
were there? You know what I mean? Like that's how stupid I am. I'm like, spookies is good, but this isn't. Like,
but I think the ending.
It's the same fucking thing. It's literally the same goddamn thing. They're both awful, but
I think the ending actually kind of solidifies a lot of the shit that's happening in it, man. I mean, as ridiculous as where it goes, it actually kind of makes a lot of sense, Yeah,
but the stuff that doesn't make sense still doesn't make sense. Like, she wouldn't know that would, and she wouldn't have that explanation, and the idea that it's in there. But
no, but the only people that would know anything was Donald Pleasance and fucking Dario Nicolodi, right? I mean, it's about them at that point, right? Nobody else should know anything.
Make sense, really. I just need it to be better.
It's not bad, man.
I think it's fun as fucking hell, dude. This movie again.
I just like the atmosphere. I like the colors.
The color of the atmosphere.
Like wandering around in holes and shit.
Is it as good as a Mario Bava Argento film lit wise? No, but it still has a lot of different flavors of that, man. It's got a lot of great fucking warm reds and blues and shit like that. The outside tinge is fucking cool, man. It's got this awesome nightmare logic. It's got fun music in it too, man. I mean,
the music's good. I like it.
The Bon Jovi rip off at the beginning is priceless. Man, that shit is to die for.
I didn't even notice it.
Oh my god,
go back. Have Donald Pleasance in it.
Go back and listen to it. It's literally You Gave Love a Bad Name, but Italian version, man. It's hilarious, man. And Donald Pleasance, I think I would have liked to see him a little bit more in the film, but giving the narrative, it actually makes sense how he did. He was, if you look at the, the facts on this shit, man, he was hired on for a week. He did his shit in 3 days. My favorite scene
around Italy, probably.
My favorite scene in the film is fucking Donald Pleasance throwing the dollar bills off the fucking building.
It's like
little devils.
It makes it seem like he sold that piece of music for so much money, but all he has is fucking like dollar bills, and he's just throwing them off the side of the building.
Well, he went to the bank and cashed them in so he could have like a 10,000 ones to throw out. Go be little devils.
Do you really think Italy would have 10,000 ones stored somewhere?
American ones. They just have fucking American. Yeah, I don't know. That makes no sense either. But that's not the shit I'm not a nitpick on this movie. Like, why don't we even see him do this? Like, there's no reason for that scene.
Because he's Donald Pleasance.
I know, but they just had an extra day with Donald Pleasance. No, but literally for the narrative.
The scene doesn't make sense because he doesn't give a fuck about the people that are dying in there. He's part of it.
Yeah, like
so. Why would he care about little devils and say little devils, little devils? It almost signifies that he's trying to, he's like trying to save them a little bit.
I think he's like trying to spread the money as it's evil, like it's like blood money, and spread it around little demons and have the demons go corrupt people because money is evil. It's definitely a statement on capitalism and money's evil, greed shit. But it's just like, okay,
of
whatever.
Course. But the thing is, he's trapped he's in that fucking that satanic kind of under hell world. Like he's exactly like
he's the devil.
But that's the thing. Like he's part of that shit. That's That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense that he's out there throwing little devils. It doesn't make fucking sense.
I just mean, even as far as the movie's concerned, like, it's like, yes, it's a fun scene for us to watch, but the main focal story point is not on Donald Pleasance. It never was.
No, exactly.
So it just cuts to him for no reason. That'd be like the other movie, just cutting to some guy and like a minor character for like 10 minutes. But it's not a big deal. I don't know. It's stupid, but it makes me laugh.
Even though the scene makes no sense to me, really, it actually is pretty funny. I won't lie.
It's hilarious. They made him climb like 8,000 steps.
No, and he looks, even though it's dubbed, you can tell he's fucking drunk as fuck. Like, it's hilarious, man. It's
he usually dubbed himself over. I don't know why he didn't dub himself this time.
I actually do know why he didn't dub himself in this one. He was always notorious because all the European films that he did and stuff, he'd always go back and do his voiceovers. So he didn't do this one because it was such a small part. But he had another film lined up, and he actually left right away and went and did a couple projects, and they had done all the fucking post-production and stuff in time, and it was just, that was it. He just never got a chance to do it and stuff, so I looked into it. Yeah, so he generally would have went back and done it, but it just was a matter of timing, and he was doing a lot of movies before he died, because this is 89.
Movie was out the next week.
Yeah, he literally left this set and went on to a different movie like the next day, kind of thing. So yeah,
this movie's a lot like The Black Cat by Cozzi. This one they're making a music video. The other one they're like trying to produce a Third Mother's movie.
Same year.
They're very similar, dude.
Yeah,
this is The Black Cat.
Yeah,
you got to check it out. I think you'll like. If you like this, you'll love The Black Cat. I'm telling you, they're very close. And they even have the gun explosions from Contamination in there. One of them.
Nice.
No, seriously, halfway through the movie, there's no gore, and then all of a sudden, somebody's fucking stomach explodes like Contamination. And I was like, holy shit.
They're like, we have leftover effects. Let's use them.
Like from 10 years ago. They squeeze it in there.
Finds it in his closet. We have to use these somehow.
JP, do you have anything else to say? You're trying to
No. I mean, I think it's a pretty good in my opinion. Like, I don't think that it's bad at all. I mean, it has lower quality in certain aspects, like the dubbing and stuff like that. But like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and it wasn't too long either. Which
83 minutes. 83 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I need to. If I watch this with like a group of people, it would be much more enjoyable. Same with
it feels like an anthology. Like, I just like stuff like this.
It's just so weird, man, because literally 5 minutes before we got on Skype tonight to record this episode, I was responding to fucking comments on my my update video, and Richard, Heavy Metal Relay, left me the greatest comment of all time. It literally is like 1,000 words. It's nuts.
Dude, he left me like a really big one on my last day.
So that's why I was giving shoutouts for leaving comments, because he literally writes books. He comments on everything that you put in your videos. Anyways, but he commented on Paganini Horror, which was kind of interesting. I must have mentioned it in the video because I didn't show anything in my video. But anyways, he's like, oh man, I hate that movie. It's like the worst Italian movie I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. And I comment back to him and I was like, yo man, I actually kind of like that movie. But it was just kind of ironic because I was commenting back to this right before we were recording this. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm probably going to be the only person tonight that digs the movie. But my mentality was, I'm pretty sure JP's going to like this because he watched a physical copy of it. So,
and he also got it from his Secret Satan.
Yeah. That was
nice guy.
Secret Satan, here we go.
Wow. Never did find out who it was, right?
JP got himself and then used Patreon money to buy himself a bunch of stuff.
And make videos about it to be like, man.
I got to cover my tracks, man.
That's funny.
That's great. I love it. All right. Anybody else have anything else to say on Paganini Horror?
Nope.
Nothing. That's it. Okay. So, Jeremy, you're first up.
Yeah. So, like I said, movie's not for me. You clearly probably could tell that if you've seen this one. The dubbing is shitty. The acting is shitty. I didn't really find the story all that interesting. I mean, it has one cool effect with the lady's skin turning all fungusy, but besides that, I really didn't, it tries to be rock and roll nightmare moods, but it's not as cool as that movie. But I give it a 4.
Not as cool.
You said you were lowering your rating again.
I did. I went from a 4.5 to a 4.
Wow. Okay. Honestly, I really enjoy this movie. I think it's super entertaining. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, when I take a gander at a film like this, man, it fucking honestly provides a lot of the things I love. It's got some fucking pretty interesting music, fun music, I should say, but it has the atmosphere and it has this nightmare logic that I always enjoy. I don't need logic in this bullshit, man. I don't care about the fucking acting, dubbing. I mean, the dubbing is actually genuinely kind of funny, and it kind of adds to the enjoyment of this, man. Sometimes it's so far, like the ADR is so far off in this. Like there's some scenes where it's like so bad. I think it might even be in the beginning scene where we do get a backstory with Nicolotti's character, and something happens. I don't want to give that away. We don't have to give everything away, but there's some fucking, it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad, but I think this shit is fun as fuck, and I would rather watch this than The Killer Must Kill Again.
Giallo.
Oh, fuck. Any day of the week, man. The Killer Must Kill Again, I think, is a better made movie. It's not as entertaining for me because I think I just feel like that movie could be so much better because it's just a better narrative kind of thing. This one is just fun to me. I'm coming in at 7.5. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty solid myself. I enjoyed it. It went by pretty fast. I liked I don't know. I like people wandering around in big houses, and I thought the kills there was some decent stuff. I like the method of killing. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Dave.
First time I watched this, like I said, I was pretty low. Rewatching it this time, it went up a bit. Like especially, I like the first act a lot, and like what I mean. The second act, I think it starts to get lower and lower. But, I think that they could have added a couple more kills because a couple are off screen. But I do like the music video shit, like, especially all the girls just kind of like smiling at the camera and stuff. But I wish that brunette would have stayed in it longer. I liked her look. She had like really great like facial, like her cheekbones were like perfect for like a movie. I don't know why. It's just like she looked amazing for this movie. But 5.5 out of 10. It's better than average. I do enjoy it, but it's also like something that I get bored at part of the movie.
It's too bad that I didn't get a chance to actually do the whole mannequin thing, because I agree with that.
Yeah, that would have been so cool, wouldn't it have, if they had like a set piece in the mannequins and someone was running and they couldn't tell who was alive or dead?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the killer came out and got him.
Yeah, man.
Oh, could be cool. Could be cool.
Yeah, I think it's fun, man. I don't know. There's something about it. I just like the whole aspect of the force field, and I agree, though, man. There probably could have been a little bit more kills. I mean, that's obviously budget shit, having kills off screen and stuff, but
yeah,
that nightmare shit, man. I fuck with that stuff, man. That's what draws me into these Italian films. A lot of these type of films is like, I just love the fact that it can be so nonsensical, and I'm just like, fuck it. I love this. It's great.
But you can have serious nightmare logic like Dead Water too, which is like an all-out masterpiece, or like the Church.
Absolutely,
I think is pretty close. But this is fun. This is also nightmare logic fun. While like Fulci's more serious at it, and this guy suffered from budgets too.
I mean,
like,
at least they try to explain it though
cheap.
too.
Like,
they try to explain it though too. They're like, there's a point in the film where they're like, man, time and space have their own rules, and I'm like, fucking rights, it does. That's all I need.
Right? Yeah, so, I mean, that's not what bothers me. None of that bothers me. It's just that it's just not as well made as those other movies.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because the budget. There's no budget. It doesn't have to fucking cost $3. And Cozzi, he's not as good as those guys. Or maybe they never thought he was good enough to give him the money that he could. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. It's hard to say what some people like. It's hard to say how good a director is. Like, when you're like, this guy's fucking amazing. It's like, yeah, he had $20 billion every time he made a movie. This guy fucking had 20 cents every time he made a movie.
For me, the big, like, I look at The Devil's Rejects, and I'm like, that's Rob Zombie with a ton of money. Halloween 2. And then I look at, like, 3 from Hell, and I'm like, I feel like this is Rob Zombie. And 31, this is Rob Zombie without much money.
Yeah, he didn't have time on the script on 31.
See, it's shit like this that actually makes me laugh, man. So I just went into, the IMDb fucking trivia thing. And it says here, it's like, Luigi Cozzi's original cut was about 8 minutes longer with scenes of planets, galaxies, and parallel dimensions that were supposed to give the movie a stronger science fiction touch. There was also more background on Paganini's life and longer ending in which Donald Pleasant's character puts on Paganini's mask and clothes. Cozzi had to cut the scenes on behalf of the producer who wanted the movie to be more straightforward. I mean, honestly, I would have fucked with this galaxies and shit like that, and Pleasant's putting on the mask and doing some shit. I mean, at the end of the film, all we get is
sacrifice making the film longer. I'm glad they didn't do it.
But it was
But
it was 8 minutes though, right?
8 minutes is a big fucking 8 minutes can make or break you sometimes.
Not if the scenes of planets and galaxies were pretty damn cool.
I'm sure they didn't look that great.
I'm sure they're just shots of stars and shit with some weird narration.
But could you imagine Donald Pleasance putting on that mask and then fucking stabbing up the bits at the end?
I think the Blu-ray has those scenes on there, but they're not. They're only in Italian. I watched them. I think
I don't have this. I have the 88 one, so
they might be on there too.
It could be. I don't remember. Actually, I don't think there is any deleted scenes. No, there's like commentary and a couple other things, but.
Cozzi's kind of an interesting guy because he started off as a movie critic similar to Dario Argento, and he became friends with him because he's the only one that wanted to interview Dario after Bird with the Crystal Plumage flopped. Originally it flopped, so he interviewed him, and Argento's dad was thrilled for that, and they met and they became friends, and he helped him with Cat O' Nine Tails. And then after that was a hit, after a big argument with the producer and everything, that became a hit. And he helped him write Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and that movie was very, very sought after. A lot of people were having a bidding war on Four Flies. So Cozzi got to start writing Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and after that, he was kind of always with Argento. And Argento seemed to like collect a few of these guys and work with the Bava, father and son, and Michele Soave.
It kind of made sense that he hooked up with Lamberto, though, really, because
because Mario was the master. Yeah, for sure. It's weird, like they have schools. Like then you have like Sergio Martino and his brother Luciano, his brother who produced over there, and then like sometimes Joe D'Amato. He helped Michele Soave get his start. So like certain guys would cross paths and certain wouldn't. Like Ernesto Gadaldi seemed to write for everybody at one point, except I don't think he was a fan of Dario. So it's just like a very incestuous where most of the people cross paths, but some wouldn't. So.
Makes sense. I mean, Dario filming his daughter fucking naked all the time and shit. I mean, incestuous actually kind of makes sense to describe the whole relationship between all these Italian directors and, who they introduced each other to and stuff. Interesting. I always felt like Lamberto Bava kind of got overlooked. He's done some amazing films, but like he doesn't really get the credit that he really kind of deserves for being part of that kind of newer wage of Italian filmmaking and stuff.
I feel like he got screwed too because right when he was starting to make more movies, that budget and the market kind of fell out, so he was fucked. Like he got to play with Demons with a lot of money, and Demons is amazing. Yeah. Although some people say that Dario Ghost directed that movie, and I don't know, but I still love Demons too as well, and I don't remember Blade in the Dark so much.
Well, you can see a little bit of Dario in there with lighting wise.
Yeah.
Right?
And the music. Dario had big influence on the music, for sure.
Well, big time, because that's, he, of course. He's
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that is Paganini Horror from 1980.
9.
Did I forget the 9?
Yeah. You did.
I did.
Contamination was 80.
1989. Wow, I knew that was not. Obviously, I knew that was not 1980. 1989. Cool shit.
Alberto De Martino next week.
I'm excited. I've never seen any of those movies.
What are the films?
The Killers on the Phone, Antichrist, and Holocaust 2000.
Yep, never seen any of them.
Holocaust 2000 got released by Shout Factory under a different name.
Yep.
Ring of Fire? Or is it Holocaust 2000 still?
No, it's a different name.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't know what the other name is.
All different, too. One's like a thriller. One is like a end of the world kind of prophecy thing. And one is an Antichrist movie or a possession movie, right?
Yep.
I've seen Antichrist. Never mind, I lied. I did see that one.
Antichrist is actually a pretty good fucking Exorcist ripoff. I don't know.
We just
That's JP, not me.
Killer on the Phone?
Stretching. That was a stretch.
Never seen
JP's been having sign and yawn.
What is Holocaust 2000? The other name for it? Scream Factory put it out.
Rain of Fire?
No, it's
Rain of Dicks.
The Chosen.
The Chosen. Yeah, I just watched that again last year. It It was cool, man. It was cool.
Is Kirk Douglas in that?
Yes.
You got Kirk Douglas in this movie. That's fucking nuts. And Telly Savalas.
Isn't it crazy that Kirk Douglas was doing like Italian films?
Yeah, that blows my fucking mind.
It does.
Again, I might not make it next week. I have the same thing going on next week.
Well,
Slacker.
Dude, we can always fucking...
My boss is on vacation, so I'm kind of like doing double shit right now. She comes back next month, not this coming Monday, but next Monday.
Why should you do that to you?
I know, during Italian Horror Month, right?
What a bitch.
There seems to be always problems in this month, man. There's always something going on.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's holidays as well.
Well, this is officially the very first show.
My birthday Monday. Where's the hooker fund?
When's your birthday?
Monday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're November, baby. That's right.
Nobody gave me anything, like always. What a bunch of shitbags.
Dude, how old
What'd
are
you get me?
Nothing.
My birthday I just had a 40th. I just had a milestone birthday, and nobody got me anything. You bunch of fucking cocksuckers.
Dude, how old are you guys? Like, I can't buy shit for all my friends. Like, we all be broke. Like, after I hit a certain age, we just stopped getting each other shit.
Yeah, but I just had 40th. It was a milestone. Nobody cares about 39 or 41.
Well, you guys don't fucking put your list up. I'm not fucking scrounging out to... I'm not going to go...
Oh, I'm just fucking with... I don't want anything. You know what? Actually, people asked me for a list at my 40th, and I actually didn't give them one purposely. I was like, don't buy me anything. It's fine.
Yeah, I hate when people buy me shit.
Dave,
like,
just save Dahmer for April and send it to me for my birthday.
I'm going to send it to you either tomorrow or Monday, because I got to send the other ones out. It's just I keep like fucking forgetting to buy packages, and then I throw the packages away that came.
Dave, you already bought me enough this year, man. You went out of your fucking mind with those 4 Blu-rays you got me.
Well, you would have got 5 if I'd had to pay for the fucking ridiculous shipping to Canada.
Yeah, man. I know.
I was just like, I'm going to do 100. That's what I planned. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It cost me like $70 to throw 2 to fucking to James in Finland.
Yeah, it's rough.
I was going to get him more, and I was like, dude, like this might just get excessive. Like one more movie was going to cost me over 100. I was like, this is stupid. So
maybe next time we can actually plan it to where the people are closer geographical, so they can actually spend.
We
more
did it last year.
That would make a lot more sense. I even thought that too.
I got
We're
James
spending money
last
on
year,
shipping.
though.
Like half their present is shipping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we did that last year.
Oh yeah, and I just want to thank JP for the free Blu-ray for the Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Appreciate it, homie. Thank you for the Blu-ray. Thanks for paying your bet.
Yep.
Good choice.
You might actually win another one because the Bears are shit in the bed.
Yep. I might win 2.
So, I got to say, man, this was definitely a first on the 22 Shots history. This is the first time we've ever had a guest on a show that had to exit before the show.
The feature review.
This has never happened.
Sucks.
196
I feel
episodes.
bad.
We've never had a guest that never finished an episode. I do feel shitty for Jerry for not being able to, because I was actually curious to hear what he wanted to, that he was going to say about these films, because they were so different.
What he'd say.
And he said, dude, I'm bummed. I noticed my internet acting up for the past 30 minutes and then completely dead. My dogs were barking at it. Apparently it started smoking.
Holy shit! Listen, it like literally blew up.
It's a good thing he's moving.
Yelling at his dogs to be quiet, but they're trying to save his.
They're like Jimmy fell in a well, and he's like, be quiet.
It's probably a good thing he's moving, man. Holy shit, that doesn't sound good, man.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Well, we'll have to get him on for something else in the future.
Yeah, let's pick the worst episode possible. Come on,
we'll find something that kind of is up his alley or something.
Or musicals too.
Found footage.
No.
Japanese.
All right, so week 3 next week. We got Alberto
Dude, halfway done with the
DiMartino.
Italian Horror.
I know.
Italian Horror Month already.
This shit
Jesus.
goes by too quick all the
Thank
time,
God.
man.
I know,
Let's
having
keep
that 5th year last year really fucking extended it.
5th week, yeah, man. It was
Yeah,
exceptionally awesome. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to Dave's pick though, man, with Ruggero Deodato.
Yeah, that one will be fun.
It's 3 films I've seen many, many times, and I know that most of us are fans of these films, so it should be an interesting conversation.
I was actually very happy with the picks this year, like overall.
I'm definitely rocking my House of House at the End of the Park shirt that day, and so
yeah. No Shocks. That's one of my favorite movies. So
yeah, I love it.
No Shocks on the ratings.
No, I think it's pretty. I mean, we've talked about House many times on here. I know JP. I think at first wasn't a great fan, but then he became a big fan.
No. I've loved it. I've only seen it
that's
once.
right up your alley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always said I liked it more than House.
Last House. Yeah,
I
love
House.
Last House on the Left too. I'm a big David Hess fan from those two movies, and Hitchhike he's very good in too. But those two are,
I think this one is just superior to it. But anyways,
I think it is. I do too. I think it's the best of the
So
bunch.
do I, but I like both.
It wasn't first though. It wasn't first.
Well, I think that might even conclude this episode here, guys. That is episode 196. Slowly, but very fastly approaching episode 200. It's crazy, man.
Back for 100 episodes already, almost. Well, minus like 8 of them, but
I think we're trying to set some records here, man. I mean, there's not a lot of horror podcasts that have lasted this long. There has some that are a lot more, but there's there's so many that have never lasted this long. Yeah, this is pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to episode 200.
Insane.
And maybe hopefully 2021 will be better than this year. God, I don't know. It's just, I mean, everything sucks right now, but
wouldn't be hard to beat it.
No, I mean, it can't.
Don't you dare test it.
Christ. I know it's been a very challenging year.
15,415 new cases in Illinois today.
How many? 15,000?
15,415.
Dude, we had like 500 cases in BC today, and they were talking about shutting the whole province down. 500.
Yeah.
I'm reading articles that
just
said
in Illinois.
They're like, America's blew it at this point. It's over.
That's what I've been trying to say. I'm like, can't we accept defeat? There's nothing we can do to reverse what happened.
Well, I mean, Trump obviously gave the fuck up here.
Right? Just wear as much
Dude,
as you can.
has he even made a statement since he got beat in the election? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, he's fighting it.
So today...
But he actually hasn't made a White House statement, right? He hasn't actually...
I kind of got bored with politics.
Well, no, I find it curious that he hasn't said anything publicly. That's insane.
So today, in the United States, there was 160,000.
All right, we don't need to know all this. Relax.
New cases and 1,306 reported deaths.
All right, so I don't want to hear that shit. That's just depressing as fuck, even on
come on, dude. Ending the show on a complete downer.
All right, so I was going to thank Jerry for being here, but I will thank Jerry for being on the first quarter of the show. That was fun while it lasted. But guys, we are done here. Jeremy, take us out.
He did it twice in a row.
I almost did it right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 196 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. So if you want to follow the man Moods himself, you could do so at youtube.com/mood616. And I have been saying that now for 6 whole years. Follow JP on his channel, youtube.com/doubleshotj. Follow me on my channel, youtube.com/NESRuler22. And follow Dave, a.k.a. the cranky old man, at youtube.com/Mr. Parker. And nobody cares about Jerry. All right. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/22shotspodcast. I'm just kidding. Go listen to Jerry on Kill the Cast. Send us an email at 22shotsofmoodstour@gmail.com. I forgot to ask JP, has we have any emails from Peter this week?
Nope.
No. Really?
Nope. No emails from Peter.
All right. Leave us a voicemail at 724-426-6665. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com search bar, 22 Shots of Moods and Horror Podcast. And please support the Patreon to get the sand sucked out of my vagina. Patreon.com/22shotspodcast. All right, everybody. That should be it for episode 196 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror Podcast. We'll be back next week with episode 197, continuing the 6th annual Italian Horror Month. So that should do it, everybody. And we'll see you then. Okay, bye.
Adios.
He said, okay, bye.
Deuces.
Dude, hey, is somebody there?
Yeah.
When I mute this, can you still hear me? Because that's what happened last time. My mute fucking doesn't work. I'm muting it now, so. Can you hear shit or no?
Yes. Are you muting Skype or your mic?
My mic.
Mute Skype instead.
You sons of bitches.
Wait,
that was
can you
my
hear
fault,
me
then.
when I mute mine?
Where's the fucking mute
I'm
button?
muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You have to mute Skype.
Dude, we're fucking... That's why we were arguing.
No. I didn't have it muted. You can't hear me when I mute mine.
Mute it.
Okay, mute yours.
Wait, me?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him. So I guess it's just Dave.
What the fuck is up with these settings?
What kind of mic do you have?
I don't fucking same mic as you guys.
You're using a Blue Yeti?
Yeah.
Are you hitting the big red button?
Yeah, that says mute.
Does it blink when you hit it?
Yeah.
Your mic is. I think you're coming. Are you sure your mic isn't the laptop or the computer mic?
No, what are you talking about?
Sometimes your computer will change settings and not put it on the proper mic, so you need to.
That's why I sound like dog shit if that's the case.
go to your settings.
Audio and video settings. Let's see. Camera. There I am.
What's going on?
Is it on Yeti?
Dude, god damn it.
You've been using your fucking camera. You're a fucking moron.
Dude, no, I didn't know. It changed the setting automatically. It used to be... Dude, when I would... That's why the sound sucked.
Dude, I was actually going to fucking ask you this week.
No. When I plugged it in originally, it went directly to Yeti, and I changed the settings to always go to Yeti. But now when I plugged it in this time, it would not go to the fucking thing.
I was actually going to ask you last week if it was on the different microphone.
Skype updates a lot, and it can update in the background if it's got permission for it, and it can every time it does that, it can erase your settings.
Dude, you've been recording on your fucking your just computer mic.
So now going,
you sound way better now.
Yeah.
The reason why I was going to ask you about this, because last week you said, "Oh, that wasn't me making all that noise. I muted my mic," and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't think he's on his Yeti. Because if you mute your shit, it's going to blink like you're fucking muted, but you're not unmuted because you were on your other mic.
Looking at a blinking mic that's not
so
muted.
I wasn't crazy.
He wasn't
crazy.
He was just talking into his mic, thinking it was the one that was...
Yeah, that was why I sounded like shit. I was wondering why I sounded like fucking shit. I was like, dude, why do I sound like shit?
Yeah, and you know what? You sound so much... Man, I thought maybe it was like...
I just find it funny that he bought $100 mic to do the show and he wasn't even using it.
No, I was using it the first few times because it sounded good because when I got on here, but then it updated. So the last probably 4 shows was garbage mic.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Skype does dumb shit like that.
I didn't want to fucking sound like that guy that knew everything that was going on. But I was just like, I was shaking my head, man, when you said you muted your mic, and I was like, no way, man. No way.
I kept asking you guys too. I was like, man, this sounds bad. Does this? I come closer. I was like, does this sound better? And you guys were like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds all right. Nobody wanted to tell me.
It does sound all right for
because when you lean in, it totally changes the whole fucking the range big time.
Yeah, this sounds way better, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, this sounds way fucking better. But I'm saying
we literally have to fucking explain this.
Just put that clip in at the end.
That's so funny.
Dude, literally, I was wondering why I sounded like shit on the recordings because when I was talking, I was like, okay, now this is fucking way better. I was like, dude, why does my mic sound like dog shit? I thought I had too much shit.
You know what else is different right now? You're not cutting out because when you're using a different type of mic, the amp it doesn't relay properly, right? So now you're relaying properly because you have a direct in. It's totally relaying properly.
That was funny.
Dude, no. It fucking ruined 2 shows.
I hate sounding like a Mr. Know-It-All, but man, I fucking knew something was up, and I just didn't want to say it.
You gotta tell me this shit. I don't use Skype that often. I use Adobe a lot, and I don't. I just bought this mic for this.
Yeah, fucking Skype. Sometimes there will be issues with it. It'll sound fucked up if someone has a bad connection and shit. Like, I think last week there was something going on. There was definitely something going on.
The connection was dropping out though. That was different.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
I'm as soon as it was funny because when we were on and as soon as we put on Dave, that's when everything started. I noticed something was going all fucked up. So.
All right.
News time. All right, we all here? Jerry, you here?
Yes, sir.
I feel like we haven't included him enough in the conversation. I feel bad.
Just cut me off whenever I'm talking.
Just out of nowhere, Dave, shut the fuck up.
JP, I'm assuming that there is.
I don't like that.
I'm assuming that there's not that much news.
There's nothing.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, let me mark this. Let me stamp this shit, bitch. Holy shit. 110.
Yeah, I was sitting here like fucking muting my mic and then coughing, and then Jeremy's like, "What the fuck, dude?" I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
I knew it right away. I knew it last week because you were doing
your
something.
throat.
I was like, "Fuck, man, there's no way that was muted." I was like, "No." Anyways,